Hello, welcome to another episode of the Book Fix podcast, a podcast that saves lives one book at a time. I'm your host, Yajaira.
And I'm your host, Cheli. It's here.
Dude, we have been waiting for this moment for a year now.
I am this is crazy because I don't know why this book release feels like a bigger deal than any other book release we've talked about.
Well, we really haven't been anticipating that many releases.
Dude, I know, but we've been waiting for this one.
Dude, by the door, just waiting for my fucking Barnes & Noble shipment.
I don't even want to start with book tea because I feel like this is going to be a long fucking episode. So, hi guys. We are going to be talking about These Infinite Threads, the second in the series for This Woven Kingdom by Tahereh Mafi.
And we met her. Hold on, let me wipe my tears. Hold on. So we actually have met her before. We met her at Y'all West. I forgot when we talked about that, but we talked about it in one of our episodes. Yeah. And she was super sweet that time we met her. But this time, dude, she was even sweeter. Can you believe it?
Dude, she's like sunshine.
Sunshine, rainbows.
I can't get over how sweet she is because we met her in a very intimate setting. Not too intimate. I mean, we weren't like right next to her.
It was just me, her, Cheli, and Jesus, you know?
And Adam Silvera.
Yeah. Sorry.
So we met her.
First of all, let me just say very quickly, because I have not read anything from Adam Silvera just yet. But he is such a cool guy that I really, really want to read his books just because I loved his personality so much.
Dude, he's amazing. And this whole event was amazing because we've never been to like a book signing before for a book tour for a book that released that we actually enjoy. I was super shocked at how small it was. For some reason, I imagined more people going, but it was around 75 people in a small bookstore. And they set up chairs and we just got to hear Adam Silvera and Tahereh Mafi talk.
And you asked a riveting question.
Okay, wait. I don't know if you want to get there or if you want to go by because I took notes.
Oh, yeah. So thank God for Cheli because I don't know if you guys can tell. I am sick again. Why am I always sick? I don't know. But
I don't know. You just shared that kiss, dude.
Oh my God. It was so funny because Cheli was sick. I don't know if you listened to her. 2 last episodes? I'm not sure. And you were really sick, and then we hung out in between that time. And I got sick, and I think I told you in person, or it was through the phone. I was like, dude, did we kiss? Why am I sick?
Did we? Dude, I don't know. Maybe we both just, I know. Okay, I mean, I don't have a problem if we did, but I don't want to get you sick or anything.
Ridiculous. I'm a little late for that.
So I'm going to talk about the notes that I took during her talk with Adam Silvera. First of all, the setting was super nice. Like I said, we were in a very small bookstore and it was like a themed bookstore. Can I just bring that up?
Yeah, I mean, you could bring up the bookstore. It was the Ripped Bodice, which I feel like is kind of popular on Instagram, I think. Yeah. I'm pretty sure it is.
I loved it because the whole thing was themed as only romance books. So it's very fitting to Tahereh Mafi's personality to go there. She's just such a sweet and cute person. So when she
Disney princess, if you will.
Yeah. So when she finally got there. Oh, wait. I'm going to step back a little bit more. Yajaira and I went to the event together. During our car ride, we were trying to be like, what questions are we going to ask her? What questions can you ask a queen? You know?
The queen.
And my first suggestion to you, which I kind of wish we would have done it, would have just been like, why? Why?
No, but I love because Cheli will literally reenact it. She'll literally be like, okay, I'm going to go up there. I'm going to grab the mic and I'm going to be like, why? And that's it. No further words. Nothing else needed. And I'm just like, it's so funny because, wait, let me just bring up. I had finished These Infinite Threads. You hadn't finished it yet by the time that we were heading that way. And so you saying that, I was like, so true, queen. So true.
It's funny because I even told you, I was like taking guesses on how Infinite Threads was going to end. And I was just like, I'm going to go up there and be like, why you do my boy Cam like that? Why the fuck you do my boy Cam like? How does it feel hurting me. Go ahead.
I also love that Cheli was like, what if I just start messing with everyone because she hasn't finished the Shatter Me series? So she was like, what if I go up there and be like, damn, guys, I love that Juliet ended up with Adam. Am I right?
Am I right, guys?
Fuck
Anyone?
Warner, right? Oh, no one?
I've only read the first book, but I'm so glad that you decided to pick Adam.
You read 2 books.
No, I know, but I really wanted to fuck with people. And I even said that I wanted to fuck with people about Infinite Threads just in case not everyone had read it. And I was just going to be like, dang, crazy that you wrote an evil twin brother for Alice. Like, fucking crazy, my guy.
Where did that, oh shit, there were dragons in there. I was going to say, where'd that fucking dragon come from? But there were dragons in there. It would have been funny.
I like how your dragons had dragons.
I can't believe you really had a dragon eat Alice. Like, damn, queen.
Pop off, I guess. I don't want to say the question I asked yet. So I just wanted to bring up, we were kind of spitballing questions in the car. So we get to the event and it's really sweet because when Adam and Tahereh start talking, they like revealed their friendship that I didn't know they even had.
Same, I had no idea. But it makes sense because there's a video of Tahereh Mafi talking about like some books she really likes, and she does bring up Adam Silvera. I just didn't know that they were friends.
Yeah, they've been friends for over 10 years apparently, and they met at this like author speed dating thing, and they were saying that they're supposed to pitch their books to the other person, and the other person is supposed to say if they like it or not. And they actually met because she pitched Shatter Me to Adam, and he was super into it. So that was really sweet. Also want to bring up, she did bring up her first, what was it, her title?
Her first title of Shatter Me was going to be Touching Juliet, which is so funny. And even Adam was like, but the point is that you can't touch Juliet, though. Like, don't touch Juliet.
But it was really sweet. She did say that she's been working on this for a really long time and she really loves this series. She did bring up that she expects this series to be more than a trilogy. And she's already working on the third fucking book.
When she fucking said that, everyone was like, oh my.
Dude, it's so funny. Wait, I just need to tell you guys, everyone reacted the same way, which was a gasp, and you just hear Yajaira go, It's so fucking funny.
Yeah, of course it is, Queen. It's like I can read her mind.
Dude, I love the way you were reacting. You were reacting as if you're just talking to her. So she would say something and be like, dude, Queen, I get it. Queen, go up. And I'm just like, oh my God, this is hilarious.
And it's funny because we were all the way in the back, so she couldn't fucking hear me.
Dude, I felt like at one point we were kind of like, we were in our own world because Yajaira and I would just be cracking up in the back. But
oh, it was so fun.
She did say, I wanted to mention this because I thought it was really cool. She mentioned that she got inspiration for this Woven Kingdom from this Persian poet who wrote like 60,000 couplets about something, and I wish I could remember what it was, but it was in Sarvasi. I don't want to butcher it. Her language that she grew up with, but she did bring that up, and that's something that I do want to look into because it sounds like a cool couplet to read.
And she also did say that she couldn't read all of them, of course. She kind of like picked a handful of which ones like inspired this Woven Kingdom.
Yes.
So, yeah.
And I don't know if you felt the same way, but sometimes with this podcast, I feel like we limit ourselves, mostly when we started the podcast. We limit ourselves on what we say about certain books because we don't want to come off as mean. I feel like it's definitely...
What do you mean? What do you mean?
Okay, well, now I guess we could talk about it. Like, for example, our first film of The Duke and I.
What about it?
I feel like the first time we filmed it, anytime I would say something, you'd be like, okay. you need to turn it back.
Okay, I don't have any problem with us saying how we really feel about the book, but you were coming for the author.
Okay, but I'm trying to be funny. I don't have anything against Julia Quinn. No, but okay.
This is not about Julia Quinn.
I'm just bringing that up because even like before, I don't know. I used to be like careful with the way I said things. It felt more structured back then, which I kind of enjoy that that's gone in a way. We do have our structure, but it's very loose. That being said, I really like the talk that both of them had about hating books, because they were saying like how they deal with hate, because not everyone is going to like your book. And Adam Silvera put it really well, where he was like, everyone's taste is subjective. Like you don't need to like a book, you don't need to read a book. And if like if there's hate out there, don't tag fucking authors to read hate about their books. That was like
that's just fucking weird.
That he said. I didn't know people did that. I don't know. It was so funny though, because someone had brought up like, what if someone hates your book? And it's like, well, they're ugly then.
Well, they're ugly and irrelevant. I don't even like them anyway.
But
the point is that it's okay not to like books. I think that people get really, like, they take it very personal if they don't like your favorite book. People don't put that much importance on whether or not you like a movie, or is it because we're not in that? We're not there. You know what I mean?
I don't think we're there. I feel like if we were there, people would be like, shut the fuck up.
If we were film critics, they would be like, how dare you not like this movie? It's because you didn't understand it.
But I like had a fucking like third eye wide open moment with, because you remember when I told you, because I liked Unravel Me a lot more than I liked Shatter Me, and I felt really bad because I knew it was a book that you liked, and I was like, damn, I want to like it, but it wasn't for me. But she had brought up this thing where when she was writing Shatter Me, she had to write it in a specific way because she knew that there was like a higher chance of her not being able to write a second book. Like she was going to pitch this, and there was a possibility that there was not going to be any continuation of it. And like, it's funny,
she wasn't expecting to be able to write a whole series for it, so she didn't really like plan for a series. So when she was able to make like at least a trilogy, she was like, oh my god, yes, I'll take it. So that does make sense though.
It makes a lot of sense, because now I can like kind of see it in her writing, because she said now that she knew that with this Woven Kingdom she can write as much as she wants, she even felt that it's less disjointed because she can just write freely. And dude, you can fucking see it. Like
if you've only read the Shatter Me series, this Woven Kingdom, it's definitely fleshed out so much. Like she is very careful with how she built her fantasy world.
I'm excited to talk about this. I have a few other things I mentioned in my notes, but they're all about Adam Silvera, so I don't know if you want to talk about it.
We could talk about it at the end if you want.
Yeah, I'm down. Why don't we just get started then? Because this could be a long episode. Okay, so I'm gonna start off with a recap for this Woven Kingdom, but I'm going to read the recap off of this Instagram post. No, just kidding. I'm going to read the recap off of the ticket company that had a recap for this Woven Kingdom on their website. So, with the heat of a kiss, the walls between Alize, the long-lost heir to an ancient Jinn kingdom, and Cameron, the crown prince of the Ardunian Empire, have crumbled, and so have both of their lives. Alize, the heir to the Jinn throne, is destined to free her people from the half-lives they've been forced to live under human rule. When Cameron, the heir to the human throne, falls in love with her, he's forced to question everything he's been taught about Jinn. Cameron's grandfather lays dead at the hand of Cyrus, ruler of the neighboring kingdom of Toulon. Cyrus has stolen Alize away from her homeland and plans to marry her there, giving her everything she needs to become the Jinn Queen. And when she assumes the throne, he will have fulfilled his own bargain with the devil. Alize wants nothing to do with Cyrus's deal or the devil, but without a way to escape Toulon, and with the fulfillment of her own destiny tantalizingly close, she'll have to decide whether she can set aside her emotions to become the queen her people need. It's kind of both of them.
Right? Wait, which one did you read?
I read the one that I sent you a long time ago. It kind of had both.
Oh, okay.
But I want to add to it a little bit.
Okay.
This is what I wrote. The second book continues immediately after the end of this woven kingdom. Alize is taken to the kingdom of Toulon, where she is now faced with the opportunity to reclaim the Jinn throne. However, there is Cyrus, who is willing to help her, but for a price. Cameron, also mixed with several emotions with how he feels about Alize, is headed to Toulon, not sure what to expect. Thank you.
All right. So after our summary, Cheli and I like to guess how the other person would rate the stories that we talk about on these podcasts, because we don't tell each other how we feel about the books that we talk about.
We don't. I do want to start by guessing yours, but before I do, if you have not read this series, you have two options. You can leave and go read it right now, like both of them. Just binge it. Or you can listen to our episode for this Woven Kingdom and then come back. You can do either. Or you can do both, honestly, because who am I to choose what you're going to do?
You can just do whatever you want.
You can also, wait, there's a third option. Just listen to all of our episodes and leave us a rating of 5 stars. Thank you very much.
Oh my God, that would be so sweet. And we would really, really appreciate it, actually.
Okay. I love you. I just want to start with that. It's not even connected to what I'm going to say.
I love you too.
I was hoping, I don't know. Happy Valentine's Day. It's not even Valentine's Day anymore.
Happy Valentine's Day. We did tell each other Happy Valentine's Day. We were together.
Yeah, you told me right at midnight. It was kind of romantic. I didn't know how to feel.
The stars were shining above us.
I know, but we were both tired as fuck. But I love you. And I know that you love characters that are a little bit like
unhinged.
Yeah. Thank you. I was looking for the word. And I knew that you were going to like Cyrus. I knew it. And I know you do. I'm not going to say I knew. I know it in my mind. You love this boy. And I know you have a thing for love triangles. You don't have to deny it. It's okay. We all know on this podcast we're on the same wavelength.
Say it right now. Who's my favorite?
Cyrus. Cyrus is your favorite, hands down, dude. If Cyrus isn't your favorite by the end of this book, then I don't know what's going on. I don't know you anymore.
Are you saying that he's your favorite?
No, I'm telling you that he's your favorite. And I think that throughout this book, you switched teams. You were like, Cameron, who? Cammy, who? No. I think that you love this story a lot. This is where I'm struggling, because you gave this Woven Kingdom a 5-star, but I don't know if you, I don't know if you loved it more than the second book. That's where I'm struggling. I'm going to take a wild guess.
Take a wild guess. Go crazy.
I'm going to say you gave this book a 4.
Okay, that's pretty crazy.
Not a 5.
Wow. That's
specifically because I think you liked the first book more.
Okay.
Thank you.
No. Thank you, actually. Okay, well, I'm going to take a wild guess, too. I'm going to say that because you're assuming that I love Cyrus so much, I'm going to guess that you like Cameron the most. Damn. Sometimes I wish that I could read that beautiful brain of yours. Is this how Edward felt? I think that you enjoyed this story. I think you still love the Queen's writing. I think you're into it. I don't know if you loved the direction of Cameron's character, because I know how much you loved him in the first book. So I don't know if you were really 100% down for how he was kind of flipping a little bit. I think you're still hoping that Alize ends up with him, though. I don't know. I think you would rate it. I'm scared. Why am I nervous? Oh my God. I think you would rate it a 4.25, because you can do that on Storygraph. Shout out to Storygraph.
Dude, I love when you just slip it in there. I love it. Okay.
Where the fuck do we start? Okay. Let me just say that the way that this Woven Kingdom ended had me fucking screaming, crying, throwing up, but not in a good way. And I hated how when I read it, I devoured it, because I just I couldn't put it down.
Yeah.
So when I got to the ending, and then the ending revealed that Cyrus was pretty much there because he was like, hey, you know our good friend, the devil? Yeah. He said that I could pay off my debts by having us get married because you need a kingdom. You are the Jinn Queen. Love that for you. And so he was taking her back to Toulon for that.
Mm-hmm.
And I hated how the way that it ended was just her falling off the dragon. Because I was like, wait, is she escaping? Did she faint? Is he going to save her? What's happening?
Dude.
And so this book, I did appreciate that these infinite threads started a little bit before that, where Cameron notices that Cyrus and Elise have kind of like a connection together, or that they know each other. Dude, how did you feel that he literally assumed the absolute worst of her? And so he thought that she had manipulated him, because it's kind of weird to talk about this because I feel like we have to reference this Woven Kingdom for people to understand. But there was a prophecy that Elise was going to be the cause of Cameron's grandfather, like his death.
Yeah.
And so his grandfather had always told him, like, oh, we have to kill her because if not, then she's going to be the death of me. And Cameron was so in love with her that he was like, no, she would never she would never granddaddy.
Sorry.
Sorry. Wait, can I call you dad? Wait, he's kind of
Grandpa,
his dad though.
Yeah. I'll talk about this later, Grandpa. Hopefully after the ball. It's like
after the No, but he is like his dad though. So cuz he raised him.
Yeah.
But when his grandfather was killed by Cyrus, and then he saw that Elise was talking to Cyrus as if they knew each other, he immediately was like, oh, fuck this bitch. You know what? I should have trusted my grandfather. Now because of this, I swear on my life, I'm going to avenge my grandfather and kill Elise. And then I also love that moment. I don't know if you noticed it when you were hearing it, because I don't know if you went back and read it, but when we were listening to it on the car ride, I don't know if you noticed that moment where he couldn't see her anymore.
Yeah.
Like he couldn't really see her.
Yes.
And it was because he had ill intentions towards her. Dude, that made me want to fucking scream.
Dude, okay. Okay, wait. So
Me too.
let me just start.
Wait, hold on.
I fucking love that it started where it left off. Plus, like, all of the other extra stuff that we weren't able to see because Alize was seeing something different than Cam. So I enjoyed seeing all that. But Cam really, it was L after L. Cameron was getting hit like, grandpa dead, girl a bitch, my body hurts. Like, what the fuck?
He was burned, and
dude.
so Hazan had betrayed him, and he was
that
like,
was the other
L
L.
after L.
At least I still have my brother, and it's like, Hazan's actually not really
brother.
Like, you know, well, he considered Hazan a brother, so it hurt a lot. But when he couldn't see her, oh my god, that fucked with me, because like you can tell it was like swaying, like it was. She was blurry, but then she would come back, but then she would be gone, and then she'd be blurry again. So it sucks, but I guess it's like a good reflection of how conflicting his emotions are. Like, he knows that he's a king, and he knows that he has responsibilities and has to look over like his stuff, but he can't help being in love with her. And it hurt, but I understand where he's coming from, because unlike other characters in the story, he has not known her for that long. So
yeah, and in case you don't know what the hell we're talking about, so Cyrus gave her like these clothes where it would basically make her invisible to anyone who had ill intentions towards her. So not everyone could see her throughout the night.
Yes. So yeah, when because in this Woven Kingdom, Cameron was one of the only people that could see her. So the fact that he was losing this, it hurt. It fucking hurt.
Dude, same.
And
as soon as it happened, I almost fucking screamed. I was like, oh my god, it's because of the magic.
But it really sucks because when she disappears, Cameron, because she basically teleports away to a dragon with Cyrus. She's out of sight, and to Cameron, she's just gone. And it looks as if she escaped with someone she had been conspiring with, even though that wasn't the case. Oh, before that, I almost fucking forgot. Cameron and Cyrus fought and they fought, dude. Oh my god.
Dude, it kind of felt like an anime battle to me. I was like, damn, I'm fucking living for this.
No,
it gave me
me
nostalgia.
too.
I was like, their fights are choreographed. Okay, hell yeah.
But it was
so
like
funny.
It was wild to me because like Cyrus was ready to kill this bitch, but I don't know.
This
like,
bitch.
Oh, sorry. But Cameron, he was like, you know what? I was only using 1% of my power, bitch. And like, he like had a
Goku
power
on that ass.
up. I know. He's super saying the fuck up. And dude, I don't know.
I fucking love that. Oh, okay, it's sad, but I fucking love that Cameron is obviously going through it. Like he's like dying. Like something's happening to him that we don't immediately understand in this moment. And then they're fucking fighting, but then Cyrus is looking at him and he's like, "Hey, I don't want to be the one to tell you this, bro, but your skin,
ain't looking too hot.
it's not looking right. Something's going on with you."
Fucking Cam. Also, his voice sounds horrible because we were listening to the audiobook. Shout out to Scribed. But we were listening to the audiobook and dude, he sounded fucking bad. But it's a pretty like even match. But I don't remember why. Why does Cam end up becoming a statue?
I think Cyrus did something to him, right? I'm not entirely sure. But something was done to him where he becomes a statue.
Yeah. But just throughout this whole fight he had with Cyrus, he kept yelling Alize's name. And Cyrus was like, how the fuck do you know her? Like, this.
How do you know her name? That's my wife, bitch.
That's my wife.
That's my wife. How are you guys friends right now? Oh,
Excuse me? Don't look at my wife. You see my wife over there? Don't fucking look at her.
You see that dragon? That's my fucking dragon.
That's my fucking dragon. Do you have a dragon? No? Fuck you. So, Cam becomes a statue. Cameron becomes a statue. And it's just left there. And it sucks because they leave and he's there. And then there's like these incompetent people that work for him in the kingdom who are just screaming and crying and not doing anything to help him.
And no one really knows what's happening. Like, obviously, most of them couldn't have even seen Alize. Well, they saw her because her clothes were burned. So they did see her at the end, but they didn't know that she was there the whole time. And so they're very confused and they see that the prince is a statue, the king is dead. And so they're like, oh my God, what's going to happen now with our kingdom? And so how about we just like start off with Cameron and then we kind of go through his character first. But dude, we do go back and forth between
if you want.
Him.
No, we go back and forth between him and Alize. I would prefer us to talk only about Cameron's story first because it is a little shorter.
Yes, I agree with you because I feel like we can kind of like sum it up a little bit. And then once we get to Alize, and then that's kind of like the conclusion of the story, I guess. With Cameron, he was a statue for like a minute, right? And then Cyrus, he killed all the fucking diviners. So like there was nobody there that could have even tried to reverse what happened to him or cure him or anything. And so he remains a statue until he feels this knife get punctured into his shoulder. And it like allows him to move. It breaks the spell. And so he takes it off and he notices that it's his mother's dagger.
And it sucks because in this woven kingdom, his mom had told him, like, you're going to fucking lose everyone and you're going to come crawling back to me because you're going to have no one. So it kind of sucks because even in his like frozen state, he had thought about his mom. Like he was like, why is she not here helping me? When there was literally no one else that could have helped him. With him being a statue, there was all these people that were around him and it fucking sucked because, you know, you would think his kingdom would be willing to help him, but it had been told by his mom and I think by his grandpa too, that as soon as his grandpa was gone, they were going to do anything in order to keep Cam out. Like they didn't want to keep him as king.
I don't exactly know how to feel about his mother still. Like, I like the idea of her, but I'm not entirely sure why she was the way that she was, because she wasn't like that nice to him. And then her knowing that one day he was gonna need her or search for her or whatever, like, does that mean she's like some sort of psychic? I don't know. Like, I wasn't sure what direction the story was going with her, but we still have so many mysteries to solve, and it's still building a lot of the plot in this one, so not everything gets answered. And the thing about Cameron was that, so he actually starts to change, and when he was a baby he was marked with like some gold marking on his chest, and that basically signified that he was the rightful heir to the throne of Ardunia.
Yes.
And when this whole thing happened, him fighting Cyrus, Eliza leaving, the grandfather dying, after all of that, the mark started to morph and it started to spread across his skin, and it even went through his eye, so that one of his eyes like changed color. Uh-huh. And no one really understood what was happening to him. Like, they would just be like, "Oh my God, my prince! What did that evil king do to you?" Because Cyrus is the king of Toulon. So they were like, "Oh my God, what did he do to you?" But Hazan does reveal to him that it basically means that his right to the throne is being compromised.
Yep.
Like, maybe he's not the rightful heir anymore, which. Yeah, I know.
Dude, I was like, as soon as that happened, I was kind of like, because I don't want to reveal too much. We just started talking about this. But I love my boy Cam. I love my boy Cam. So I felt so
I already
fucking
revealed
bad. I felt so fucking bad because I feel like he's done
taking L's left and right.
Yeah, he is taking L's, and he's not a bad guy.
No, he's not.
I don't want him to lose this right to his kingdom. But by the way things are going, it doesn't look good for him.
No, it really doesn't. And can I just say that I was shocked because we had seen people commenting how, Cyrus, Team Cyrus, Cyrus this, Cyrus that. So when I started reading these infinite threads, I was surprised by how much development Cameron's character had. I literally expected him to be left in the fucking dust. But it's a good thing. Like, I really loved how his character was developing because I understood his anger, his sadness. Like, I understood his desperation to... Because even there was a moment where he was like, "You know what? I'm going to marry anyone. I don't even care." Because he needed to produce an heir. And I just fucking love that in this book, like, everyone's freaking gray. Like, literally, Cameron is going through it. So I liked how much attention to detail his character had.
Yes. And can I also say that Cyrus, Alize, and Cameron, I fucking love all of them. I just want to say that right now. And I'm glad that in this book, we kind of get to see the perspective of what's going on through all of their eyes. And it kind of, like, it allows us to be like, okay, I kind of see where everyone is coming from. Mm-hmm. So it's really up to us to be like, okay, but what's better? Like, you know what I mean?
I feel like I'm expecting the next book to have more of Cyrus's perspective because yes, we did get some of it in this book, but not really. Like, I feel like
what we got the most was just a deep dive into his character.
Yes, but his character is still mainly a mystery. We're not on him yet, but yes. So let's go back to Cameron.
Okay, so he gets stabbed and he presumes that it's his mother because it was her dagger. But he basically like falls to the floor. He's not frozen anymore. And this bitch who was trying to take his kingdom is like, oh, Cameron!
Shit! She's fucking away. You know what, Cameron? I never said that I should be king. Never.
You know what? Like, other bitches here were trying to take your kingdom. You know what I did, Cameron? I told them, shut the fuck up. That's my boy, Cammy. That's my boy, Cammy. I would have never done you like that, bitch. But... did I say bitch? Sorry, sir. I mean king.
Sorry, king. I mean, wait, what are you?
What are you? If you want me to take charge, I won't though. But like, if you want me to, it's like whatever. But, like, he basically comes back to his senses, and he kicks everyone out, and he's left alone, and he's so torn with everything that has happened.
He's torn, but he's also still dying because the mark the magic inside of him is like messing with him, and so he's like on the brink of dying. And then
but they killed all his diviners, right?
Yeah. Oh, Cyrus did. Sorry. So, but then Omid shows up, and Omid was, you know, a 12-year-old boy who was in this woman kingdom. Yeah. And he shows up and he's like, oh my God, hey, Prince. So weird. I actually have this cube, the sugar cube that the diviners, was it the diviners? Somebody gave it to him. And they were like, you'll know when to use it. And so he sees Cameron like on the ground and he's like, you know what? Here, let me give this to you, because it would heal him. So he gave it to him. It healed him. And because Omid was the only person to show him like kindness, not only kindness, but Omid is also he's trusting. Very blunt. Yeah, but he's also very blunt with his emotions. Like he does not have a filter. And so because of that, Cameron was kind of just like, you know what? I can't fucking trust anyone besides this 12-year-old annoying ass boy. And so he decided to give him the position that Hazan had, which was, you know, like his minister. And he's only 12. So obviously no one's going to take him seriously.
Dude, I fucking love that though, because this is just the start of Cameron going fucking feral in this shit.
No, seriously.
Like, he's like, you know what? Fuck Hassan. He's going to get fucking hung. Omid, new best friend. Brother, maybe? Who knows? Don't fucking touch me, bitch.
He's like, let's make matching friendship bracelets, bitch.
I already made one for you.
And it's so funny because Hazan is locked up right now.
Yeah.
And Cameron didn't forget about him, but he was like, okay, let's go take care of him, right? Because he had no hesitation. He was like, I'm going to go kill him. Oh, no, wait. I skipped something
before he did that.
I skipped that Miss Huda, which I fucking hated her in the first book. She was so annoying. No offense to the people that love her, but I didn't like her. And to the Huda stands. So she shows up and she's like, hey, Prince. Oh my God, what happened to your face? Just kidding. Anyway, so this carpet bag was actually left behind by Elise. And he sees it and she's like, there's nothing important there. You know, I just wanted to give it to you because I didn't want to tamper with any evidence. But also, can I have my dress back? Because she did make it. And he was like, what are you talking about? She was a servant. When did she have time to make anything?
Yeah, because it was revealed that not only was she doing a full-time servant job, but like also on the side, a seamstress job. So this girl never slept.
Yeah, and he didn't know that. And so when she said that, he was like, when did she have time to eat? And it threw Miss Huda off because it showed that he kind of cared. And he was like, I mean, when did she have time to conspire against me? I don't
fucking care if but if like she was conspiring against me, did she at least have time to do self-care? I don't know. Fuck her, I guess.
Did she put a little mask on, or is she good?
Did she put a...
No.
Huda, this is important. This is important. Did she put a fucking little mask on? You gotta tell me.
Did she put the little eye mask on? Please tell me.
Wait, did she do the face mask that had animals on it? Huda, if you don't tell me, this is treasonous.
Was it any of the BT21 characters? My favorite is Tata. Just let me know.
If it was fucking Tata, Huda, you have to let me know. It's like going wild on her.
It's so funny because there were moments where he really was swaying a lot. I think for the most part, he was trying to hate Elise.
Yes.
But then moments like this, he was like, oh my God, why does my heart beat faster at the sound of her name? Just kidding. Anytime anyone would say her name, it like pained him, like physically.
Dude.
And we didn't get an answer to that, but I do think that that's very interesting.
Yes. Before we say anything, I do want to mention something Huda had said that was really funny with his appearance, because she was just like, what's wrong with your face? Not that you're not handsome, you're just like handsome in like a sad way. This bitch just called him an emo boy.
No, wait, that is so amazing that you brought that up. I love you. Thank you. I fucking love that Cyrus called him the melancholic king. Do you have any idea how much I live for that? I fucking live for the emo boy look. Oh, dude, my God.
I love it too.
Please.
Oh my God.
Get this man his guy liner right now.
When this eventually turns into a movie, I'm going to manifest it. I want a fucking montage of freaking Cam getting dressed with the emo boy playing in the background. Are you kidding me? It has to be
My Chemical Romance. If it's not My Chemical Romance, I will be fucking pissed.
Dude, if it plays My Chemical Romance, I feel like I will cry. That's actually really sad.
What do you mean? That would be so fucking beautiful.
It would be, but like, fuck, dude. That's emo as fuck.
No, like I fucking love that so much. Like, do you have any idea how much I lived for the Batman because of his eyeliner? Oh my god! Oh my, I can go on for hours. Anyway,
I know you
love
can,
him.
but I also really liked the saying "Melancholy King." It's so tragic. He's a tragic character because there's so much going on, and it sucks because he could never slow down. Because now he's in this position where he has to take reign of everything and he can't slow down. But then he has Alize, which he's like, I fucking hate her because she's a traitor, but I also kind of think about her at night.
But I also still want her to have my babies.
Like I want her hung because of her treasonous ways, but I also want to give her a goodnight kiss. Like, what do I do? But he does find the carpet bag because Huda gives it to him. And he takes it over.
Your favorite character comes out of it.
He takes it over. Oh wait!
Why are you cutting me off? Why are you cutting me off? You know I'm right.
The carpet bag falls. No. He grabs the dress that's in the carpet bag because remember,
who cares about the dress?
Priorities. Okay,
who fucking cares about the dress?
Because the most important character flies out of the dress.
That's what I said. It comes out of the carpet bag.
It's a beautiful little dragonfly.
Fucking firefly. Firefly.
Oh, you're right. Oh my god. Whoa. It's a beautiful firefly, and she's a queen. And
Cheli literally wanted to ask Tahereh Mafi, please tell me the dragonfly makes it. The firefly makes it.
I want to say dragonfly too. It's because of the dragon. You know, I feel like he at least deserved
there was
another
dragons
dragon
in this book. Mm-hmm.
I know that fucking firefly came out and Cameron was like, wait a minute. I don't recognize you.
He wanted to. Oh yeah, he was like that fucking bitch Hassan. And he was like, you know what, Hassan? I was gonna kill you in a week from now, but because of this,
because of this shit. And it's funny because he goes to visit Hassan in the dungeon, and it's like, you remember this bitch? And like the freaking firefly comes out, and Hassan's like, firefly! Oh my god, did you see that?
He's holding it like between his two fingers. He's like, talk, bitch, or she gets it.
I know, dude. Can you imagine? Like, this is so fucking dark, but you know how, like, back then the torture would be like dunking their heads in water? It's like a bottle cap, and it's like dunking the dragon or the freaking firefly's head. Talk, bitch! No, she's only 3, please.
I literally can't breathe. Oh my god.
I fucking love how much Hassan was like, my baby. Oh my god.
I feel like it was just so funny how Hassan was like, you're gonna kill the firefly, and he's like, I mean, I would. He's like, you fucking monster.
You fucking monster. She was like, get for my peepaw. Dude.
And he was like, it's not an it, it's a her, okay?
Dude, it was so funny because I know it's a her. Her name's Beyonce. Remember, we were one of the questions I wanted to ask Tahereh Mafi was if she would give me the rights to name that firefly Beyonce, but I was too nervous. I was afraid she'd say no
or laugh at you.
I know. Oh god.
I can't breathe. Okay, so anyway, during this moment between Hassan and Cameron, that's when Cameron realizes, well, I guess he doesn't realize it, but he's like telling Hassan like, oh, you aided her and now she's gonna take my kingdom with Cyrus. And Hassan is like, why would she do it with Cyrus? Wait, what? And he's like, yeah, because they're betrothed. And it kind of throws Hassan off because he says, if Cyrus is working with the Iblis, which is the devil, then that means that she is betraying her people, because the only reason why the jinn fell and, you know, they became like lower class citizens was because of Iblis. And so he doesn't believe that Alize would do that to her people and work alongside the devil. Yes.
And also I want to mention from both Hassan and Huda, they both had mentioned Alize didn't even know Cyrus. So the instance where they had first met, it was revealed that they acted as if they didn't know each other. So there's all this information coming to Cam where it's like, no, She doesn't know him. She does not know him. She would not conspire against you. That is not what is going on. Yeah. But this is when we start to notice where Hazan says Alize, Cameron has a physical reaction, and Hazan is like, "Is that? What is that? What the fuck is that?"
We noticed it. We noticed it with Miss Huda. She said her
I
name.
know, but
and he
this
was
is
like, ugh.
Yes, but this is the part where Hazan like brings it to light. Like he mentions it, and this is the part where it's also revealed that. Or where Cam reveals to Hazan, like, he had actually talked to Alize. They had met and they had kissed. And Hazan was like, "You bitch." And he's like talking to his Firefly. "You see this bitch? You see this bitch that I work with? How fucking dare you?
Why I fucking hate him."
Yeah, he's like, "How fucking dare you kiss her? She's a queen. She's a queen.
You're
the queen of the gin.
You're supposed to kiss her fucking feet, you bitch."
I know. Kiss the fucking road she paved for you, bitch. Like, how fucking dare you? And it's like, oh, what were you guys planning to do? Just to fucking, mess with her and then leave her? And then fucking Cam was like, "I would have fucking married her. I would have fucking married her."
Yeah.
Dude!
And so in this moment, well, not in this exact moment, but eventually they come to the conclusion that, okay, you know what? Maybe you're meant to marry her then, so that she gets her kingdom, and the magic that's fucking him up is healed.
Oh my god, dude! As soon as that was mentioned, I was happy because. I don't want to make a parallel because Tahereh Mafi did say that although she writes similar stories, it's not the same story. So like the similar story of a girl who is powerful but silenced is like the types of stories that she likes to write. And of course, that's kind of like Shatter Me. So when I saw that Cam was having a physical reaction to Alize, I thought of Adam and Juliet. And I was a little worried because I was like, I don't want them to make Cam unlikable, and I understand that Adam isn't unlikable. I understand that there's the novellas and there's more to him. I may have called him a few mean words.
I get it, but I don't give a fuck. She said those novellas irrelevant. That's what she said.
But I do want to say,
play the clip.
I do want to say I was worried that what she was going to do was push Cam into like the shadows. Like we weren't going to hear about him anymore because now there's a new love interest. So I'm glad with how much like suspense there is with the romance, and like you said, how much development there is for Cam, because I still fucking love that bitch. I love him so much.
I love that emo ass.
Yeah. I love that fucking emo ass bitch. Oh god, dude, he's so unhinged. Well, I mean, less so than the other. He's
hello.
The right word is he's so fucking feral. Like he's so out here making decisions. Like this 12-year-old new bitch. That Firefly, my pet too. Love you, Beyonce. Hazan, you're still in. Like I fucking love that. I love that he's over here, and it's funny too because, to skip ahead. Well, first you have to explain something to me.
What?
He was going to leave to Toulon with Hazan, and something had happened to him, right?
So what basically happened was that the diviner showed up, and they were like, "Okay, you know what? We have to test you to make sure that you actually are the rightful heir." And he found something that his grandfather had left behind for him.
Yeah.
And when he found this, I can't remember what it was right now. Oh my god,
I can't either.
Anyway, it doesn't really matter, because what matters is that at the end of Cameron's story, or part of the story, is that he's kind of more so convinced that Eliza didn't really betray him anymore. And so he's thinking to himself, I gotta go find Eliza because he still loves her, and he's hoping that she is going to marry him.
Yes. And
so at the end of his story, it's like, okay, now he's headed to Toulon.
But it was cute because I think Cam was attacked, right? In his own kingdom. Because I think it's Hazan Huda and Omid that go get him. And it's really cute because there's a moment where Cam just takes a step back. He's like, oh my God, my ragtag team over here. Like just a bunch of random ass bitches and an emo king. Let's go get my bitch. Not bitch, respectfully queen.
I'm offended that you forgot about the best character ever, Dean. How freaking dare you?
Oh my God, you're right, dude.
How dare
also, I
you?
do want to apologize. I call her bitch respectfully. I fucking love Alize. And that felt like too much. I felt it coming out, and I was like, no.
I feel like we both say bitch a lot. So respectfully though.
Respectfully, she's a queen. But he's so like, okay, let's go get Alize. Let's fucking do this, bitches. Bitches formation, and they bitches leave on giant bird. I know. The fucking Marvel music plays. Bitches assemble.
Yeah,
Oh
and you know
my
everyone that he's with loves Aliza, so they're just like, go get her, Tiger. Why am I speaking in superhero references?
Oh my God. And he has like a flashback of his grandpa. Like, oh my God, what's the fucking Uncle Ben quote?
With great power comes great responsibility.
Thank you, Grandpa.
Thank you.
I am Spider-Man. I mean, King of Ardunia. But I really like the way his story ends because it's the end of the entire book where he's like, I'm off to...
I was surprised that this book ended with him. I was like, wait. What about my girl? What about my girl?
Dude, but I kind of loved it though because it's so... It's like prepping me for the third one because I'm excited to see, of course, what happens with Alize and Cyrus, but what happens with Cam because he even says himself like, I don't know who I'm gonna be when I come back, so I'm prepared for whatever is to come, and it fucking ends like that, and I'm like, bitch, oh, only my king. I fucking love him.
Hashtag love my king, Cameron.
Hashtag love my king.
The
king of many L's. Yeah.
King of many L's, but the biggest L. Never mind.
Fucking, what did they do with the grandpa's like body?
I don't know. Nobody wanted to touch him because of the snakes that were coming out of him. Anyway, we have been talking about Cameron for like an hour, so we need to talk about our other two characters.
Yeah, the main part of the whole story, which is
No,
Alize.
I wouldn't say the main part. I feel like Cameron was like 50% of the story.
You think so? It felt like I read more of Alize and Cyrus.
No.
Oh,
maybe I was just in too deep.
You were just really into emo boy.
I was like, oh my God. I did love the Batman. Thank you. So let's go back in time. So Alize is on the dragon, right? And Cyrus shows up and he's like, girl, this is my dragon. Why are you here? And they start talking, and I really like how Cyrus is so like he's a mysterious character, right? You don't know why he's acting the way that he is, but it's very apparent from the very beginning that he needs Alize because he's like, you know what? I don't even care. Like I have no intention of like forcing myself on you. I'm not trying to force a relationship between us. I just need you to pay off my debt with Iblis. And Alize is not very sympathetic with him in the beginning. Like she's very much like, oh, well, obviously you did something, you did something horrible to be indebted to him. Like you probably did it for like some stupid reason, right? And he doesn't explain himself to her. And he kind of tells her like, oh, you know what? I'm not going to be like the other lovesick fool. Like your pretty little doe eyes aren't going to manipulate me into caring about you. Yeah. And they're like fighting in this moment. And I like that everything that he says is very honest because her little Nasta, which is like a little marble that's in her corset, it's like a magical thing that Hazan gave her. Her marble goes hot or warm anytime someone's telling her the truth. And then it goes cold when someone's lying to her. So the whole time, even though he was being super fucking rude, he was still like being honest with her, how he like had no intention of cultivating an actual relationship between the two of them.
Yes. So I don't remember how she falls, but I do remember he offers his coat to her because remember her dress burned off and she's like fucking naked.
She's practically naked, yeah. Like she has like rags on, but they're like transparent.
Yes. So she's just kind of there and he's like offering the coat and she's like, no, I would rather be fucking gone than ever take anything from you.
Well, first she falls off the dragon because she would rather die than have to marry him.
You're right. You're right.
She would rather die than have to marry him if that's something that Iblis wants. Because if he's working with Iblis, she's like, I would rather fucking jump off this dragon right now. And she does. But she ends up back on the dragon and he tells her, like, it doesn't matter how many times you throw yourself off this dragon. I'm just going to get you back on the dragon and it's just going to make our trip longer. But we still have to go to Toulon. When they get to Toulon, or when they're about to get there, he kind of warns her a little bit. He's like, okay, prepare yourself. And she's like, why? Is it so ugly? Is it so like disgusting and gross? And he's like, no. It is so much more beautiful than Ardunia. And he tells her that pretty much. And so she's a djinn. I don't know if we have to explain that, but she's a djinn. And so she doesn't need food or anything. All she really needs is water. Like water is her substance. So whether that's like being like bathing in it, drinking it, like it doesn't matter. Like water is life for her. And so when they get to Toulon, she is completely like mesmerized by it because there's so much there's so many like cascades of water and it's like there's like waterfalls and everything. And she is like a happy little girl. Like it's so innocent the way that she's reacting because she's so genuinely overjoyed. And in this moment, she realizes that she hasn't had any water in like the past 24 hours probably. Yeah. And she's just so happy about it. And it kind of throws Cyrus off. He's like, okay. Yeah, I know she's cute, but don't make it weird. And so when they are about to like dismount off of the dragon, that's when she notices like a woman. And this woman comes towards them and she's described to have like fiery hair. So it's like orange and like strands of gold. And it's so funny because Eliza comes down of the dragon and Cyrus freaks out because the woman goes up to them and she's excited to see them, but Eliza is naked and so she gets red, like she blushes, like she says that she's never felt so much warmth in her life. Yeah, because the ice in her veins, it pretty much is like that's her mark of being the heir to the djinn or being heir to, you know, the kingdom. And the Cyrus's mom is just like, hey, nice to meet you. I'm his mom. And she's just like, oh my God. But tell me if you felt the same way. I was getting like secondhand embarrassment, not because she was naked, but because she started going off on the both of them. Because the mom, I forgot her name, Sarah. So Sarah was like saying, oh, my son has spoken highly of you. We've been anticipating your arrival for months. And Eliza is pissed because she's like, she's like,
did he tell you that we just fucking met like 2 seconds ago? And he kidnapped me against my will and is forcing me to marry him. And I haven't even fucking like answered him, but it's a fucking no. Has he told you that?
Has he told you that I don't want to fucking marry him?
Yeah. Dude, honestly, that didn't really bother me. I kind of understood why she was feeling that way, but it was very off-putting because the way Sarah was reacting was like, oh, we're going to be so close.
No, but she was smiling at her like creepily, kind of like I'm trying to communicate something with my eyes, but it's not working, you know? Like, oh, we're going to be best friends. And it didn't bother me. I just cringed because even though it's valid what she was saying, Sarah was not reacting to what she was telling her. And so she kept saying it. And then she kept saying it louder. She was like, no. You know what? I'm not going to marry him. I'm not marrying him. But so, okay, Sarah goes away. And then her and Cyrus have kind of like a moment, sort of. Mm-hmm. And he's like telling her or warning her like, okay, you know, we're going to get married, whether you like it or not. And she tells him, draw your weapon. And I thought this part was so funny because he was like, what? What do you mean? You don't even have a weapon. Like, she's literally naked. He's like, what weapon are you gonna draw? And she's like, I don't need one. And I just thought it was funny because he gets like really close to her, and it throws her off. I think it's that she describes it as she hadn't felt like his strength before, and then she feels like his warmth on her, and it derails her, and she like gets lost in like his scent as well. But then he like lifts her up and flings her off the fucking cliff, and he's like, I choose dragons.
Oh my God. I think
really
that was a
funny.
little okay. I just want to apologize. I feel like we might tell this story a little not in chronological order. Because I felt didn't that happen before they met the mom?
No, that happened after.
Was it? I do remember it when he said
because
that.
she gets flung into her room, or like the dragons take her to her room.
Oh, you're right. For some reason I thought that she had slept on the floor. It kind of sounded like she did. She did, right? Okay.
She did, because she couldn't get up to the bed, so she passed out. Anyway, okay, so she gets thrown off the cliff. A dragon bites her and then takes her to her room, and she's in this really beautiful, vast room, like that has a bunch of rooms all over it. And she sees a bed, but she ends up passing out on the floor because she can't get up. She's exhausted. She hasn't rested or anything. Yeah. And when she wakes up, she gets woken up by Sarah, and Sarah's like, "Wake up, darling. Wake up." And Sarah's like, "Wake up, because this is the only time that you and I can conspire, because if he thinks you're asleep, he's not going to know that we're talking about him." Yeah. And she's so exhausted that Sarah's like, "Okay, let me draw you a bath, but we need to talk." And then what happened?
So she basically is like, "Oh, I forget what they talk about first, but she's like, yeah, my horrible son, who's a horrible person. I fucking hate that bitch." And it's oh my God.
I kind of like the way that she starts it, though, because it fucking threw me and Elisa off. Because she was like, he really is a monster, isn't he? That's how she starts it. And I was like, damn, girl. What did he do to you again?
I know. Because remember, he had killed the king of Toulon. Which is his dad, which is Sarah's wife. Sarah's husband. So, of course, she has all of this rage against him. But she specifically says that what she hates the most is that he never takes accountability for anything that he does. He blames everything on Iblis because of this contract that he has with the devil. So...
And so she starts saying like, oh yeah, he'll tell you that he's acting this way because of the devil, but really it's just all selfish. Like, this is what he really wants to do. Yeah. And so eventually Sarah does tell her, I need you here because, there's some things that not even I can do, even if I'm really angry with him. I need you here because I need you to kill him. And Elisa's Elisa was already down to kill him. Like, she's been down to kill him since, they first met. Well, not really, but like when they were on the dragon.
But now that it's presented to her in a way that like someone else is asking her to do it, she's like, no, this feels kind of weird now.
I like the way that she described it, though, because she said that there's something about someone asking you to do this that kind of threw her off. And she's still down, though. Like, she's still kind of like, well, eventually. Because she has no intention on marrying him. Like, she does not want to. She doesn't want to align herself with anything that the devil wants. But yeah.
But it's revealed here too that Sarah's like, if you are being the way you are with him right now, you're not going to get anywhere. He's not going to let down his walls. Yeah. So you need to make him think that you want to marry him, that you're in love with him,
or that you at least want to be his friend, because she tells her he doesn't even like taste his own food. He has people taste it first to make sure it's not poisoned. Like, he does not trust anybody. And so she tells her the best course of action is for you to pretend like this is something that you want. And obviously Elisa's kind of like, okay, we'll see about that. And so when Sarah leaves and Cyrus eventually shows up, but he kind of like, it scared her, and she came off in her usual way. So she was very like rude to him, like, oh my God, what are you doing here? Yeah. But then eventually she kind of like smiles at him, and he's like, ew.
Dude. Oh
He's
my
like, ew,
God.
why do you look like that?
I fucking loved anytime both of them like had moments because they're so fucking like cutthroat with everything. There was even a moment, I don't even remember when it pops up, but there's a moment where they're talking and Cyrus just takes that moment to check her out.
Oh my
like,
God, I know.
Ew!
She's like, ew, don't look at me.
Don't fucking look at me. How do I look though? But don't look at me.
I also fucking love when he tells her, forgive me, but do you intend to make it a habit of wearing transparent garments in my presence? Do tell me now, I beg you, so that I might blind myself in anticipation. Oh my God.
Dude.
Fucking Cyrus, dude. And I also love that she's like, okay, I just gotta kill him with kindness. And so she starts pretending like she gives a fuck about him. But he's like, oh my God, I love that he can see right through her. Because for a while there, I was like, wait, does he also have a Nosta? Like, does he have a little thing like that burns when she's like telling the truth?
Yeah.
And because he just looks at her and he's like, aw, you've been conspiring with my mother, haven't you? And she's just like, what? Me?
I'm glad that it happened that way because I really didn't want to read a story of her faking love for him. You know what I mean? Or like it becoming that. I'm glad that when he asked her that, she was like, yeah.
Oh, but wait. I miss. Wait, let me just bring up what he said, though. He said that you've been a wicked girl. And he says, God, you're so beautiful, even when you lie to me.
Yeah.
And then he said, wicked girl, you've been making deals with my mother. And I literally wrote, I'm going to fling this book out the fucking window. I was also glad that it didn't go in that direction because I was nervous that she would pretend to like him, end up liking him, and then being like, oh, damn, but I have to kill him, eventually.
Yeah.
But
so
yeah, I was a little surprised.
I really like that when Cyrus is presented with like, well, how do you feel about her? Like, why are you going to marry her? Like things that are so like, of course, going to bother him emotionally. He has to look away. I fucking love that. And that's brought up a lot between them where it's like they can't even look at each other sometimes. And they have to be like, look at me. You need to look at me. Stop looking at the floor. You need to look at me.
The moments when Eliza was so embarrassed she couldn't meet his eyes and he was like, just look at me. Just look at me. And she's like, I am looking at you, but she's looking at the fucking wall.
Dude, I fucking love that.
So when Cyrus reveals that he knows that she's trying to conspire with his own mother, he's like, girl, do you think that I don't know her? Do you think that I can't tell that she hates me? She starts to panic. And so she's like trying to get away from him in this big room. And he kind of is like chasing after her because he's like, where are you going? And they end up crashing into each other. You know what this moment reminded me of?
What?
This moment reminded me of, have you ever seen The Proposal?
No.
With Sandra Bullock and Ryan Reynolds. What? You've
No.
never seen The Proposal?
I don't think I have.
That moment when he gets out of the shower and she's also naked. I forgot why she was naked. I think she was changing. And he's like wearing headphones so he doesn't hear her, and then they like bump into each other and they fall on the floor naked. Anyway, that kind of happened here. They're not naked though, but she is completely overwhelmed by the way that Cyrus smells.
Yes.
He's also overwhelmed by her that he starts telling her that he hates her. And it's so funny because he's like, I hate your... Wait, let me actually read it. Hold on. He says, I hate you. She says, I know. And he says, I hate everything about you. Your eyes, your lips, your smile. I find your presence insufferable. And the nostril starts to burn against her sternum.
Which means he's telling the truth.
Yeah, but he also says, but I'm not going to hurt you. And it burns again. So she trusts that he's not trying to like hurt her. But this moment is like throwing her off because she's like, okay, so he doesn't want to hurt me, but he also hates me.
What do I do with this information?
Do the math. I also like that they kind of apologize to each other in a passive aggressive way, because she's like, I'm not sorry that I conspired with your mother to try to kill you. And he's like, yeah, well, I'm not sorry for throwing you off the cliff. She's like, okay, great. I'm glad that we're on the same page then.
But it's nice too, because if I remember correctly, she mentions at this moment, she's like, I don't hate him. Like to herself, she's thinking like, I don't know how I feel, but I know I don't hate him. He's not as evil as everyone else is making him out to be. There was even moments where he would smile, and she was like, it was childish. Like it gave him youth. Like he didn't seem like a monster.
And he also reveals to her that he can't tell her why he made the deal with Iblis, because he said that Iblis told him if he ever revealed why he did it to her, that it would be the cause of his death, pretty much. Like he would die immediately after that. And so when they're talking about, when they're telling each other this moment of sorry about this, sorry about that, he tells her, what if I made this worth your while, like her marrying him? And she's just like, how can you do that? And he says, my mother offered you a deal which you accepted, but I can offer you a better one. And he pretty much tells her like, my kingdom for your hand. And he tells her, let's be married, and after I paid off my debts, then you can kill me. Like you can kill me after that. I don't care. Like he just wants to pay off his debts. And it throws her off, because she's like, wait, you want me to kill you? Like you don't care. And he's like, honestly, not really. No. Like no. And she doesn't understand that at this moment.
But she does say that she'll take it into consideration.
Yeah, like, she's like, I'll think about it. Yeah.
So they go to tour Toulon together. And this is where she realizes how much people have missed her or have been expecting her, if I'm correct. Because when they see her, was the reaction positive?
They were kind of overwhelming. They were kind of like, oh my God, she really does exist, the long lost queen, like of the Jinn people. Yeah. And so they really want this marriage to happen, because they've been waiting for their leader.
Yes. And it's also revealed at this part that everyone there really likes Cyrus. Like he's not a bad king.
Yeah. But can I interject really quickly?
Yes, go ahead, because I might not remember the beats well at this point.
There is a moment where I think it might have been before that, but I'm not sure. So she tells him that she doesn't trust him, obviously, because she doesn't really know him. And he's like, okay, I'll just tell you about me. I didn't say a word until I was 3. I don't like eggplant. You have a little freckle on the hollow of the base of your throat. Yeah. It's kind of cute, I guess. Don't make it weird. And she's just like, how did you know that?
How do you know that?
Yeah, and he's like, I have eyes. Okay, I'm not blind, girl.
Oh, dude, I forgot about that.
She says, you are lying. And he says, about my eyes, I assure you, they're quite firmly affixed to my skull.
Yeah.
And he says, even if I could, you think I'd tell you, of all people, my sorrows? Did you think I brought you here against your will because I was in want of a sympathetic ear? She says, no. He says, no, he echoed softly. And you should take care to remember that, should you marry me, it would be in title only. I have no interest in your companionship. And the Nasta goes cold. Dude, you know what's funny? I sent this to our friend Melissa. Yeah. Which I appreciate that she didn't respond to me, because I was like, I don't want to know how you feel about this book, because I wasn't even sure how I was feeling about it yet. But after when I read this moment, I was like, you know what? I have been thinking that this whole time, Cyrus is so honest. The whole time the Nosto kept going hot and hot and hot. It had not gone cold once until this moment when he kind of reveals that he maybe wants companionship. Maybe, but don't make it weird. Maybe.
Dude.
And so it throws her off, because now she's like, wait, what is he lying about? Is he lying about wanting my companionship?
Are those his real eyes? Like, I don't know.
Right. Yeah.
Wait. At this point, I don't want you to give a reason. At this point, did you like Cyrus?
I liked Cyrus in the last book, and I liked him in this book as well. I just really like the idea of him, and I like that he's mysterious, but because we don't know his side of the story yet. So I like where it's going.
Yes.
And yes, I did really like him, especially in this moment, because I was like, oh my God, he just wants a friend.
Yeah.
I'm gonna cry, bitch. Sorry, respectfully. I'm not calling you a bitch, but
No, it's fine. So they go to Toulon, they tour it. There's this one point where when they're about to walk to a section of Toulon,
Mhm.
she opens a door and notices that there's like no stairs. And it's
Oh
just like
my
an
God.
opening. And she's like, you brought me here to kill me, you bitch.
I
I'm gonna
fucking
kill
knew
you,
it.
monster. I fucking knew that. I should have trusted your mom. I should have got that fucking butter knife and just stabbed you right in the throat. And then he's like, Alize, there's fucking stairs. They're made
The
of
stairs are
glass.
glass.
And it's funny
You-
because she's like, oh, I realized that I may have said some things earlier that were kind of hurtful.
That
but
I
I
didn't
really
really
hope-
mean.
Does this still mean I have a tour guide? I'm gonna be honest with her. Do I have a tour guide? I didn't mean it.
I can't
Like,
go
of
on a
course-
tour without a tour guide.
It's kind of rude if you left me here. You'd be the bitch in this situation, not me. You would be. So I
Dude.
thought it was so funny.
I fucking love that moment. You know what other moment I really liked? That moment where something was going on with Cyrus. It wasn't that moment yet, but it was before that.
Yeah.
She approaches him and she kind of like tries to touch his arm. I forgot why. I think she was trying to console him.
Yeah, he had mentioned something that was really sad and she felt bad for him. This guy who had just offered her bread for the first time like ever. She's like, oh my gosh, he has a heart. I want to be there for him. So she reaches out to touch his hand.
She had never had bread before and it threw Cyrus off. He was like, how have you never had bread?
But it's funny because she reaches out to him and he immediately grabs her by the wrist and is like, what the fuck were you going to do to me? What the fuck were you going to do to me?
Because he has never really had any like sympathy or empathy that way. Like no one has really cared for him like that. So when she tries to console him or try to give him like a little bit of love, a little bit, he was like, what are you doing? And she's like, nothing. I swear I wasn't going to hurt you. And it kind of throws them both off because I don't know, like this moment just kind of happened.
Yeah.
Without either of them really thinking about it.
Yeah. So
and then he was like, wait, don't make it weird or anything, but were you trying to console me? And he was like, me? Like me? You wanted to console me? And she's like, you know what? Never mind. No, I wasn't.
But it's cute too because he starts like prodding her like, wait, what were you going to tell me? Were you going to say something to me to make me feel better? What were you going to say?
Yeah, and it's so cute because he's like, I tell you one single sad story and your defenses weaken that easily. Like against me, you're such a lovely fool. You're going to get yourself killed.
Yeah, or it was a charming, pathetic fool. I think that's how he says it. But yeah, she gets hella like, whatever. Let's fucking finish this tour then.
Like,
right?
You know what? Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what happened.
Yeah, but they go on their tour and they end up in this area, and I don't remember how it starts. So can you remind me how it starts?
He kind of lets her roam around and she's like, aren't you scared that I'm going to run away?
Yeah.
And he's like, no. She's like, why not? And he's like, I've deduced that you're quite charmingly pathetic.
That's the part I was thinking
She's like, I'm not pathetic, you bitch. And so he says, if I were badly wounded, you would help me. True or false? She says false. He's like, you liar. And she says, I wouldn't. I'd leave you there and run for my life. And he's like, you would save me. And she's like, no, I'd let you die for sure.
Mm-hmm. Is that when he starts experiencing his thing?
No, not yet. So they end up going to like a flower garden. I don't know why he takes her there. I forgot. Wait, why?
It was also to make her feel better.
This part. Oh, it was the stairs of glass. The stairs made of glass was the moment where she couldn't look at him because she was so embarrassed.
Yeah.
And he's like, Elisa, this is something that I really liked. Okay, wait, hold on. Sorry. I just remembered.
He kept saying her name.
He keeps saying her name. And she's like, why do you say my name a lot? And he says, I say your name like a perfectly normal amount of times. And she realizes that because she was a servant, she didn't really have people say her name. And so him constantly saying her name makes her feel like really good.
Yes.
like really appreciative, of hearing it.
Yeah.
And so she starts feeling very emotional. And so it's like there's tears in her eyes. And she doesn't want to look him in the eyes. And he's like, what are you? Oh, for heaven's sake. Are you going to cry again?
Yeah.
I'll take you to see the city, Elise. I'll show you the bloody magic. You don't have to cry about everything. And she says, I'm not crying. I'm thinking. Sometimes I get emotional when I'm thinking. And he says, when you're thinking, you mean all the time then? The devil really is trying to kill me. And she says, I thought you already knew that.
Oh my
And
God, dude.
I think that's when he takes her to the flower garden to make her feel better.
Yes. And that's where it happens. I'm sorry. I feel like I'm trying to skip ahead. It's just I can't remember when it happens. Okay. So at the flower garden, he starts. I don't remember. Does he just like not see her at one point? Right? And he like starts to not make sense? Or does he automatically just start screaming?
So no, they had disappeared because people were recognizing her. And they were like, oh my God, you're the long lost queen. Love you, queen. Please do something right now. Right now. And that's when they disappear. And also, she's really impressed by Cyrus's magic. And she tells him, oh my God, like, how can you just make things happen the way that you do? And he's like, what, you never practiced your magic? And she says that the magic is supposed to just come to her.
Yeah.
Like, just like naturally, but it hasn't yet. So we don't even really know, like, what is Elise's, like we know some stuff. Like, she can go invisible and she's a really good fighter and all that, but we don't know, like, the extent of her magic yet.
Yeah.
And so because he saves her from like all of these people that are bothering her, she says, I have a theory that if I were badly wounded, you would help me. True or false? And he goes silent. And she's like, true or false, Cyrus? And he tells her, false. And the Nasta goes cold. So she's like, you liar. And he's like, I don't even care about this game.
Yeah. They're so cute.
I like when he tells her that they're somewhere safe now, which is the flower garden. And she's like, safe even though you're here with me. And the Nasta gets warm. I don't know how you felt about this moment, but while they're in the flower garden, she starts telling him that she doesn't trust him, right? Like, she doesn't trust that he really will just hand over his kingdom just after marrying him. And he tells her, like, oh, we can do a blood oath if you want. And she says no. And she kind of says it in a way where it's like scaring her. Because she's like, no, absolutely not. Because if you do this, that means you're bound to me, possibly forever. And then he says, only if you don't kill me. I don't know. Like, the way that he says it is very much like, yeah, well, I don't really care. Like, like, he really does not care about being bound to her or not being bound to her, whether or not she kills him. Because he brings it up very, like, nonchalant, like, if you end up killing me or if you don't end up killing me, it's up to you. It's your choice.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I know that it's revealed later, like, his feelings towards her, and I just like his feelings towards the whole thing. But he does make it apparent, like, he just hates this deal that he has with the devil. And he would rather be dead. So I kind of get it why he acts that way. Because it's just kind of like, okay, I just want to be out of this. I don't even care if you do or do not end up killing me. Mm-hmm. So I get it.
And then also he does bring up that the devil never really revealed to him, like, who she was or, like, what she was, her being the long lost queen for the jinn. Yeah. And there's a moment where he's kind of like looking at her, but she looks at him and he looks away. And she asks him, she says, Cyrus, are you afraid of me? And he almost laughs, but then his expression looked a little strained. And he's like, what an absurd question. And she says, will you answer it anyway? He says, no. He says, no, I'm not afraid of you. And the Nasta goes cold. And she's like, well, you are. You think I'm going to hurt you. And he's like, no, I don't. And the Nasta keeps going cold. And then I think she feels almost like guilty that he doesn't know her exactly. And so he's afraid of her. And she's trying to, like, make him see that. I don't even know. Because I don't know if she does intend on killing him in this moment, like, eventually. She doesn't really reveal it yet, but I don't think she wants to, because she's seen too much of his personality now, that she knows that he's not completely this like malevolent being that everyone thinks the worst of. And so in this moment, he kind of like goes away. Like he's there, but like mentally he's not there anymore. And he starts experiencing this like severe pain that really scares Eliza, because he starts being covered in like his own blood, and like he has bruises and all that. And she starts freaking out. She doesn't know what's happening with him.
And it really sucks too, because this is like a very long moment. Like it's 2 hours of him just screaming and bleeding out of his eyes. And she can't like get through to him. So she really just has to sit there with him while he's experiencing this.
And she's like wiping away his blood. And once it gets like crusted, she's crying so much that she's like wiping it with her tears. It's like so sad. And she knows that Iblis is doing this because she has a heart. Like Eliza has a heart. And so he knows that this way she'll say yes quicker, right? And she even thinks it. Like she even thinks to herself, okay, I'll just say yes. But then when she thinks it, she's like, I can't do it. Like she doesn't want to do that just because that's what the devil wants.
Yep. Gosh.
I also like how the chapter ends though, because she's like, she took Cyrus's limp hand in hers, and like a fool, she cried for him. I know.
No.
That's literally how I fucking felt. I was like, God damn it. How fucking dare Tahereh Mafi make me care about all of these fucking characters? Even the fucking Firefly. How dare she?
That was the best character. Hands down. There's like no argument there. I love Beyonce.
The Firefly is not Beyonce.
I don't know. You know how I feel about love triangles.
Yeah, you fucking love them. Okay, hold on. You liked it with these hollow vows.
I did. I just want to say that.
Entonces, what's the problem?
I just want to say that I was conflicted because at this point, because remember, this story goes back and forth. At this point, we hadn't seen Cammy. We hadn't seen Cammy be that bitch yet. So I was just kind of like, because I don't know. There was still a lot that we hadn't seen that Cameron had done on his side of the story. So I really thought that he was just going to be pushed away at this point. So I was like, I really hope he's not. I really hope he's not.
His character, even up until this point, his character was
going
still
through it.
Being developed.
Yeah,
you know?
I know. Yes. I was just worried because I was like, I fucking kind of love this. I love that Cyrus is so like, it's funny because he was seen as someone who's like very villainous, evil, no heart and everything. And she's seeing like all of his vulnerabilities like in a day or 2 days.
Yeah.
But he has this attack, and does she just remember just being in his room?
So what ends up happening is that he is going through this torture throughout the entire night, and he kind of like wakes up a little bit, but not really, and they end up in his room and on his bed, but he's still out of it. And so she's like there with him, and I think she even tries to escape or something, I'm not sure, but he's like, no, she tells him, Cyrus, are you awake now? Please tell me that you're awake. And he's just like out of it. He's like, what are you doing here? He's not really reacting, like he's like telling her like, I'm really tired. I'm so tired. And
yeah,
she says his name. And then he says, I do say it a lot. And she says, what? He answers your name. I didn't know your name for so long, Angel. I love the way it feels in my mouth. And she's confused. She's like, what? Are you sick? And he's like, yes, I am. It's terrible. And he kind of like, he says it's part of the cycle, but she doesn't know what he's talking about. She's just like, what cycle? But he doesn't like answer the question. He talks about like the fact that she washed his face. And because he's like, did you wash my face, babe? Future wife, queen, my love, my sun, sky, stars. And so she's scared because he's not really like, he's not
in the right state of mind.
Yeah. And so she's trying to get through to him, But he's just like talking about like whatever, like literally anything that's going on in his like dreams probably.
Yeah.
And that's when she realizes that she's in Cyrus's room, and she's like kind of low-key panicking. She's like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Why am I here?
Oh my God, dude. I don't remember what happens first.
Wait.
Okay, go ahead.
I have to bring something up. When he was like not in his right state of mind, he like cuddles against her breast, and his hand hikes up on like the bottom of her. I think she's wearing a dress, right?
Yeah.
Or like whatever. He's like close to her underwear, and she's just like sitting there like, oh my God, what is happening? But she knows that he thinks he's cuddling with like a pillow.
Yeah.
Because of the way that he's like angled.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, I was screaming, crying, throwing up. I was like, oh my God, what? I thought they were going to kiss. I was like, oh my God, it's happening. It's happening.
Oh my God, dude. It was fucking wild. I don't know if you felt the same way, but because of the perspectives changing between them and Cameron, I felt like they were in that fucking bed forever. That felt like such a fucking long ass scene.
Yeah. But then it's so sad because when he does wake up, he's like, why did you leave me? You know? Like, how could you just leave me there? And she's like, what are you talking about? I didn't leave you. And he was like,
Wait. They don't kiss, right?
No. I think he kisses her chest, or he kisses he kisses her hand. Right?
Okay. I just
that part confused me too, though, because it says like he kisses her, but I feel like if it was like a kiss on the lips, it would have stated that it was a kiss on the lips.
Okay.
I was still screaming though. Don't get me wrong. Don't get it twisted. I was still crying.
Okay. I'm still kind of confused on that. I hope you're right. But
you know what? It's okay. We're gonna see Tahereh Mafi soon. We'll ask her.
We'll just ask her. But after that, you know, she's in there, and I think she steps away, and she's just kind of looking at him, and in his like dazed state, he starts to like take off his like the uncomfortable stuff. So like the holster where he has his weapon, he takes off like his belt or his boots, or not his boots, like, you know, anything that's bothering him. And then he takes off his shirt, and she's just like, oh my God, but she's still looking at him. And then he starts going for his pants, and she's like, oh my God, and like turns around, and she's like, I'm not that bitch. As much as I'd love
I'm not
to be,
that bitch, but I mean, that is my
then,
future husband, so if I sneak a peek, it's fine.
But then I think that's when he's like, Alize, what are you doing in here? And
it's still in his sleepy state though. He's still like out of it.
It's so it hurts because he's just like, come here. Come here. I want you to be over here.
It's so interesting because I don't know if you felt the same way. The way that he was acting kind of felt like this was a parallel universe. Like, you know what I mean? Like, oh, like, come here, babe. You know, like, this is like just a regular day. Like, we're married.
Oh,
typical
and it hurt.
Tuesday.
It hurt too because she was just like, I'll be right back. And he's like, don't lie to me. Don't lie to me. Mm-hmm. But he ends up going to sleep again. And then one of the maids knocks at the door, and because she used to be a maid, she knows how it goes. Like, after you knock 3 times, you're supposed to enter, because 3 times without an answer is just consent to go in. And she's like, I am not going to be caught in this boy's room. Like, I need to hide. And at first she was like trying to be like, I have to find a place. I can't use invisibility because a lot of people here are jinn.
Yeah, and it won't work on them.
But as soon as this person comes in, she like opens the door, and it has locks on it, but because she's so strong, she just breaks through all these fucking locks and runs into like it's like a walk-in closet, right?
Yeah, it's like a big ass closet.
So she's in there and she's hiding, and she like looks around and she realizes, like, you know, she's only ever seen Cyrus in dark clothes, doesn't really know much about him. And she sees like these colors of blue, a beautiful rug. She sees gems in jars and crystals in jars. And she's just like, oh my God, I don't even fucking know where to look. Like, she's just so like intrigued by all of this. But then she starts to get this feeling, specifically like in it was like a cabinet, right?
Yeah, like something is attracting her, like kind of like pulling her in.
Mm-hmm.
And she realizes that in this like cabinet, or I don't know, can't remember exactly what it was, but she sees a book that actually belonged to her when she was in the Baz house. And she is immediately pissed.
Yeah, because then to her it starts to kind of connect like, oh my God, I felt bad for this bitch. He's just been using me. He has just been using me.
Mm-hmm. Like she starts to see him in a very different light in this moment. She even recalls what Cyrus's mom told her about him, and she starts to think like, oh my God, maybe she was right, maybe everyone's right, and he's just like a piece of shit pretty much. And he shows up and he's like, how did you get in here? Like, what are you doing?
But he shows up fucking angry. Like he pins her to the wall and puts a dagger at her throat. Mm-hmm. And it's like, what the fuck are you doing in here? Because this bitch, this was fortified, locked. I bought them locks. Yeah, like how the fuck did you get in here?
It really was though. Like no one was supposed to be able to get inside, but she literally just fucking broke the door off the hinges.
And she's trying, like, remember, she's angry, but she's also trying to explain, like, I didn't plan to come in here. I was hiding. And he's like, no, you came in here with the plan of getting that book. What's your motive? Like, what's your deal? What's going on? And they're both fighting, but not really listening to each other.
Yeah.
It's revealed later that Cyrus didn't even know how she got there. Like, he had thought that when the maid opened the door, she snuck in with the intention already to get the book. Like, that was her intention the whole time.
Yeah, like he didn't remember the whole night, so he didn't know that she was with him the entire night.
And in her eyes, it was just kind of like, he's angry at me because he was hiding this and he's a bitch and he's a traitor. Mm-hmm. So when they're both kind of like on common ground, that's when Cyrus is like, you didn't come with me. You left me in the flower garden when I started having my little attack.
Yeah, you just abandoned me, pretty much is what he said. But she was like, no, I did not abandon you. I was there the entire night. Who do you think cleaned those wounds, bitch? Who do you think cleaned the blood off your face?
Yes. And it's so sweet because he's like very like, no, you're lying. Why would you lie about a fact? Yeah. And she was like, no, I used my dress. And he was like, no, you didn't. And like kind of cuts himself off because he looks down and her dress still has the blood on it. And she brought up like, oh yeah, I needed to wash your face. And again, he's like, wash my face? Like, where did you even get the
water, bitch?
My beautiful tears, bitch. I'm fucking crying. And it's funny because then she gets embarrassed too. And this is another moment where she can't even look at him. And she's just like, nope, I'm gonna look at the floor. Like, she is so embarrassed. And he's just so overwhelmed. And I think this is the point where he has already lowered his dagger.
And before he lowers his dagger, he doesn't actually want to cut her though, because she's kind of like challenging him. And he's like, stop moving. This blade is super fucking sharp.
And he does actually cut her a little bit because of her constant movements. Mm-hmm. But he's just so overwhelmed with like, oh my God, no one has ever cared about me that much.
Yeah.
Like,
and
the fact that you stayed.
Also, just to bring up about the book, she really wants it back because it's hers, but he tells her, like, I can't give it back to you. And the way that he says it is, like, very, like in a desperate tone. Like, he's like, I can't give this back to you. And her Nasta goes warm. And she's like, you don't even know how to use it. You don't know how to open it or anything. And you won't understand it. And he's like, I know, but, like, either way, like, he still has to keep the book.
And he was like, when she had gotten it and it had reacted to her, he started like out of character begging her.
Yeah.
Like, you please tell me how this works. You need to tell me how this works. Please, I'm begging you. Mm-hmm. And she's just like, no, bitch. Like, I'm not telling you anything.
It was actually kind of cute though, because when she explains to him that she snuck in there because of the maid, he was like, you just yanked it open. Girl, you practically ripped the door off the hinges. And she like starts to feel so bad. She's like, I swear I would fix it if I could, but I don't know how to fix a door.
It's like, babe, don't fucking worry about the door. Like,
He's
that
like-
doesn't matter to me.
He's like, it doesn't matter. Like, the door doesn't matter. It's just the fact that you ripped it off the fucking hinges when it's super, like, it's super steel, babe.
I don't remember the beats at this point too, but
All right.
he reveals a lot at this point. And they are both basically standing together, and he's piecing everything together. So he's like, okay,
For
you
the
were
night,
there, you were there.
But the
came
way that
back.
he says it, he's like, I experienced some pain, and she's like, some pain, bitch. Hello? Do you have any idea how much blood was all over you?
He reveals at this point too. He's like, basic bitch stuff. Just have to deal with the feeling of death twice a week, like to the point of death, and then I go into like a medicinal sleep, in order to get better. But something that I deal with because of a bleeze, and it's like, oh my fucking god! And the fact that like he says that he dealt with it alone and would just somehow find his way home and just sleep it off, like no one was there to help him. Like, oh, that fucking sucks.
She is explaining to him again that she was there the whole night, right? And he asks her, why were you so kind to me? I'd heard someone crying, but I thought the sounds were part of a dream or a hallucination. God, the way you touched me. He cut himself off, his expression tortured. Alize, my own mother has never touched me with such tenderness. I didn't think there was any chance that you could be real.
Yeah. Dude.
And then you know what she brings up?
What?
She said, I believe the words you used to describe me were quite charmingly pathetic. And he says, I deserve to be shot for saying that to you.
Dude, why is he so good with his fucking words? I fucking can't. This bitch got me in his clutches. Because when they're talking about the night too, he also says like, you touch, or I touched you. I touched you. Yeah. And she's just kind of like, yep.
Yeah, but she doesn't want to talk about it.
Yeah.
She's like, yep.
But he reveals to her that like he's been like desiring her. Like this has been something that has not only existed in the past few days. He's been thinking about her, and he's been in her, or she's been in his dreams. And that's kind of he kind of just leaves it at. Oh, go ahead.
Yes, he does say that. But let me just reveal this, okay? He says, Alize, let me make you my queen. And she's just like, nah. She's just like, are you trying to seduce me to get me to marry you? And he's like, no. And the Nasta warms, and she's like, oh my God, I'm sorry. I know it's a terrible accusation, but why would you, And he says, why are you acting like this is a surprise? I made my intentions clear from the very beginning. I want to marry you. And she explodes. She's like, no, the devil wants you to marry me. That's not the same thing. How can you not see that? He says, marry me and you get your crown. The devil is briefly sated and I'm discharged in great part of my debt. We all get something we want. Why is that so wrong? And she says, it's one thing to enter into a false arrangement in the pursuit of our own interests. But this, Cyrus, this wouldn't be false, and it would complicate something. What were you going to do if I kissed you? What would come next? He says, I would marry you. I'd marry you tomorrow, and then I'd take you to bed for weeks.
Dude, and it sucks because it throws her off so much. And then that's when they reveal that he's been dreaming about her for months. And at first, she's like trying to interrogate him. He's like, tell me about the dreams. What am I doing? And what am I saying?
He's like, kind of, girl.
I know. He's like, I don't want to say it. And it's like, is it because you can't say it? And he's like, no, it's because some things are meant to be private. Like, I don't want to say.
I don't want to say it. Don't make me embarrassed right now.
But he reveals like he thought she was an angel. Like she didn't. He never thought that she was real. And in these like dreams that she would have, or he would have, she was like, I guess like his in a way. Like it was what he wanted. And so when he figured out that she was real, it was like, how am I supposed to pretend that I don't care about you type of way. And it sucks because like all of this is revealed, but then she brings up like, I'm everything that you had said, and then like, I am only going to marry you for the title. And he's like, really? After everything I told you, only that? And it's like, yes, because at the end of the day, when we get married, if Iblis were to tell you to fucking kill me, who would you choose? The devil or me? And he didn't say anything.
He didn't say it, but we know, bitch. We know. I feel like, you know what? I feel like I know how the story's going to end, but we'll talk about that later. I just want to bring something up before that moment. Just to bring up, Cyrus has been tortured by Iblis for a very, very long time. So what Iblis did was he planted Elisa's like image in his mind, so he would constantly dream of her. He would become like, I guess in love with her in a way. And it's interesting to me how the way that he was tortured is similar to the way that Elisa was also tortured by Iblis, because Iblis tortured her in a similar but different way. He would constantly show up to her and like give her like these riddles, right?
Yes.
And these riddles were kind of like foretelling like what was going to happen in her life. And so I like that they have that connection together where they have both been tortured by the devil. But obviously with Cyrus, it was more convenient for Iblis because planting Elisa in his mind would get him to fall in love with her. And so that way it could move forward with her being the Jinn Queen because he has a kingdom.
Yes.
And I just want to also say that I like that Elisa is being realistic with this. Like, yes, there have been moments where she is obviously attracted to Cyrus. Like she feels something with him when they're together, but she doesn't let that derail her. She is staying adamant on, yes, maybe I will become your queen. Maybe, possibly, I'm not sure yet. But if it does happen, then nothing like romantic can happen between us. Because obviously, like you said, it would hurt her and him if Iblis were to be like, you know what? Kill her.
Yeah. Yeah. But this is revealed, and the conversation, like, it needs to keep going. But Tahereh Mafi just loves fucking hurting us. Love you, queen.
Love you, queen.
There's a knock at the door, and they can't ignore it because they keep knocking.
Well, there's a knock at the door when she asks him, right? When she says, will you kill me? Right?
Yes.
Is that what she asked him?
And he doesn't have time to respond.
No. Wait.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. What was the question?
So she asks him, like, she says, Cyrus, please, I never asked for any of this. All I ever wanted from the world was to disappear. You brought me here. You made me this offer. You gave me the opportunity to see what I might be. And I can't willfully blind myself to the possibility now. Not now that I know there are so many people out there waiting for me. Not when I, too, have a duty. He says, I am well aware of how I did this to myself. You need not bury the blade any deeper. But will you promise me something, Angel? When you do decide to kill me, will you tell me how you intend to do it? Cyrus, enough, I beg you. He shook his head. I am only a man, Elisa. I can only withstand so much torture in one day, please. Leave me to what's left of my God-forsaken life. And she says, and tomorrow, who will we become then? Are we to be enemies once more? And that's when the knock happens and interrupts them.
Okay, before we fucking continue. Oh my god, dude, why are you not a fucking Audible reader?
Oh my god,
like,
wait.
Dude, anytime you read to me, I'm just like, oh, fuck, dude.
Wait,
it's
really?
so good. Yeah, dude. Oh my god.
Wait,
Over here adding emotion?
Let me get my resume out there.
I know. I mean, dude, get me on my business email at yajaira@gmail.com. That's not her email.
That's not my email. Please don't email me.
But oh, dude, that hurt.
The fucking emotions. The way that Tahereh Mafi writes always gets to me because she writes emotions so well. And she's developing her characters so well that I care about all three of them so much that I will cry no matter what happens.
Can I bring something up right now to kind of pull us out, but talk more about Tahereh Mafi? At her book event, at her book signing, she did bring up that a lot of her writing style kind of stems from her Persian language that she grew up with, because a lot of the way that the language she grew up with is it's very, like, the way that she said it is like very dramatic. And she gave an example of like, oh, once I bought a coat, or I wanted to buy a coat, and I put it on and I asked my mom, how does this coat look? Like, what do you think of it? And her mom said, that the coat is weeping on her skin.
Yeah, it looks like the coat is weeping on her. And I thought that was fucking beautiful. I would have been like, damn, swipe my card right now. But apparently that's a bad thing.
But it was funny because Tahereh Mafi was like, so it was ugly. And I was like, Mom, say less.
I know, she literally said that. Damn.
Dude, it was so cute. But then I like appreciate that because she said like the little things in her language are like if her daughter were to stub her toe,
there's like 13 different ways for her to say like, I would die for you.
Yeah, I would die for you. Let me take your pain. Like it's so beautiful. And you can see it in her writing that like a lot of how she grew up and how things translate into her writing. And it's so beautiful.
It is really beautiful. It definitely gives you another level of appreciation for her writing style because it makes sense to the way that she was raised.
Mm-hmm.
But why don't we just say how the story ends, right? Like with Elise, not Cameron, with Elise.
So there is a knock at the door and Cyrus opens it and it's the mom. And dude, fucking 180. Because instead of being that kind person she was when Cyrus was around, she's like, where the fuck are you? Where the fuck is the fucking Jin, the girl you brought? Where the fuck is she? Like there are people being violent outside and we need her. And then he's being really sweet because he's not revealing that she's there. So he's like,
she's hiding, right?
Yes. So he's like, okay, I'll go get her right now, you know. And she's like, no.
It's so sweet because he doesn't want anyone to know that she's there because Elisa doesn't want there to be like a scandal of her being in his room, you know, them not being married yet. And so he's respecting that. And by telling his mom, like, oh, let me go find her, it's him showing her that he respects her, like even her image.
Yes. So it sucks too because at this point the mom was like, were you having another one of your moments again? And he was like, yeah, I was. And it was like, oh my gosh, it's always so poorly timed.
Oh, I know. She doesn't give a fuck about him. Oh my God.
Is like, oh my God, she didn't even fucking ask if he was okay. Like that is such a bitch move.
Fuck that bitch.
Oh my God.
Keep going.
I know. So she, Elise is like done. Like she's so like, it doesn't even care about what they think about her at this point and comes out of the shadows.
Yeah, but it's implied that the reason why she's coming out of the shadows is because Sarah is telling Cyrus like everyone is waiting for their queen, you know, and they're fucking surrounding the castle. And that's why she's coming out of the shadows because she's like kind of ready to face her people.
Accept it too, that she is going to.
Is she?
It doesn't say it, but it feels implied that she's like, okay,
yeah, it does feel like
this, bitch.
You know what? Where the devil at? I'm ready.
I know, dude.
That's how Elisa's side of the story pretty much end. But the book does end with Cameron being like, "All right, let's go to Toulon, bitches."
I do want to say too, we didn't mention this, but as much as Cameron was thinking of Elise, she was also thinking of him, less so, but to the point where it was like Cyrus noticed it because she had asked him, like the first time she had asked him, like, did you kill him? Is he alive?
Not that I care or anything.
I know, but he was like, I was waiting for that question. This is how long it took you to ask about him? Like,
he's like, damn, 13 minutes?
Wow. That took 2 hours, 43 minutes, and 12 seconds. I'm not counting or anything, but what is that bitch to you? Why do you care?
Yeah,
why do you care all of a sudden? I don't
care
that you care. And like her Nasta's getting like stone cold. It's like, I don't fucking care. But but it was like sweet, you know, to see that. Well, we really don't know much about how she feels about Cameron. I know that she does care for him and feels bad for him, but I thought it was sweet that she like, you know, is thinking about him.
Her people.
Yeah.
It's mainly her people though. Because I will say, yes, she did think about him a couple times, but I expected her to think about him a lot more than she did. Because even the moments that she had with Cyrus where like things were kind of happening between them, I almost expected her to be like, oh my God, wait. Or I don't know, not because like nothing was happening with her and Cameron, like they're not exclusive or anything. But I did expect her to be like, wait, this is similar to how I feel about Cameron. Or
she never did.
I know. That's why I was surprised. Like, no, there was no time, even when she started to feel physical attraction for Cyrus, like I expected her to be like, wait, but what about my boy Cameron though?
Well, let's blast to the past. Talk about this Woven Kingdom for a bit. And my favorite fucking scene where she goes to the ball and he's like, please tell me you came for me. Like, please tell me that you came for me because you've changed your mind and you're willing to marry me and this is what we're doing. And she just says like, no. Like she made like, nah,
well,
bitch.
I mean, she doesn't want to get married. She doesn't even want to marry Cyrus. So,
but I kind of appreciate that how blunt she is because if you think about it, outside of these two men, she has never really had any type of intimate relationship. So to me, like, I fucking love Cameron. I do. But she doesn't really know him. And she does mention while she's, well, in her head, but while she's with Cyrus, she's like, every relationship that I've had, whether good or bad, like, they've never been truthful, like honest. Even with Cameron, he wasn't completely honest with me and his intentions at the beginning.
Yeah, because Cameron was he thought she was a spy and he was like following her around and everything.
So I kind of like that she has this moment to reflect. But I mean, I'm excited to see what happens when they meet each other again. And I'm nervous to see what he's going to think when he gets there and how he's going to like catch her. You know what I mean? Like, is she going to be like hugging our boy Cyrus? Like, is she going to be doing something?
Is she going to be married? I don't know.
Is it going to be like that moment where they kiss and it's like, speak now or forever hold your peace?
And he's going to be like, wait, this is supposed to be our wedding, babe.
Oh my God. I'm like, dude, I'm shook. I finished reading it a while ago. I think I finished like a couple of hours ago before I got home. I'm still kind of like, I need to sit with this book a little while longer before I can have like a definite answer to how I feel about it.
Yeah, that's fair. I feel that.
But I do like all the characters. That's all I can say.
It feels like there's a butt coming though.
I mean... Well, is there anything else you wanted to mention before we get to overall thoughts?
No. Well, let me think. Hold on.
We've been talking for 2 hours.
I know. That's why I'm like, I think that I appreciate how nothing really happened in this book.
Thank you. I didn't want to say anything. Dude, it kind of hit me when we were talking about the whole bed scene. I was just like, this whole book was one day. One day. Dude, Tahereh Mafi over here fucking sweating. Like, she wrote 24 hours worth of reading about an actual 24 hours. Like,
yeah, like no joke.
It didn't hit me until way later where I was like, unlike the first book where I felt like there was fucking drama at every second, there wasn't really much going on except for like the development of characters and the development of relationships.
Yeah, and I feel like there's a lot of emotional drama. I do like that Eliza is kind of more, I don't know, she's more down to be the Jin's queen, because in this Woman Kingdom, she was like, I just want to live a quiet life, me, myself, and I, and that's it. But now, like, seeing how her people have been waiting for her, now she's more like inclined to be their queen. I don't know how. Yeah, and I don't know how she's going to do it yet. And I wish that there was more of an inkling of, because I do love triangles, because I think they're so juicy. But I feel like in most love triangles, you can kind of tell who they're going to end up with. In this love triangle, I feel like I have no fucking idea who she's going to end up with. But
wouldn't you agree that's how we felt about these hollow vows?
Okay, yes, but I mean, we were both rooting for the right one, so maybe that's why we loved it so much.
Because we knew, but we liked how it was hard. But this one, it's just kind of like, okay, but what the fuck is happening?
Yeah. So let me know. Let me know who you think she's gonna end up with. I feel like I have a guess what's gonna happen in this book. In this story, I should say.
Well, okay, then let me guess first.
Okay,
I suck at guessing, as you know.
No, you don't.
As you know. I feel like I do. I always root for the wrong person and then I end up getting hurt.
Is this like our prediction hour? Are we predicting what's going to happen?
Yes. Welcome to the segment Prediction Time.
Psychic time. Let's go.
I want her to end up with Cameron.
Mm-hmm.
And I just feel like Cyrus is going to mean a lot to her, but he feels like someone who's gonna have to deal with the sacrifice. You know what I mean? Yeah. He's gonna have to go through something and sacrifice himself. I do not think she is going to kill him, but if she does, it's gonna be out of a necessity. Like it's gonna need to happen.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know how Cameron would react because they do still have to get married. You know what I mean? So I don't know where Cameron.
She could marry Cameron. She'd still.
I know, but she wouldn't. She wouldn't do Cyrus like that, dude. She wouldn't do Cyrus like that. So I do feel like she is gonna marry him, but I don't know. I feel like she's gonna end up with Cameron, and there's still the thing about Cameron's marks on his body, the whole like his kingdom being compromised. Like Cameron has to have more of a chance. You know what I mean? Like it can't just end like that. Like him give my best shot. Let's go back, guys. Jump on the birds. Like there needs to be more of a chance. Jump on the birds. Didn't they all come on birds? I hope that I'm talking in the mic. I hope you caught that. If you didn't, it's just gibberish. But I just feel like I really want them to end up together, but that doesn't take away from the fact that I fucking love Cyrus. So I just feel like he's gonna be like the biggest blow. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
That's as much as I'm saying. That's as much as my two brain cells when they were pedaling away could get.
I kind of agree with you, but it's confusing because between Cyrus and Cameron, I feel like Cyrus is more loved between like his people. So I'm kind of unsure because even if Cameron and Elise got married, I don't think his people would be down because of, you know, the way that his grandfather died. And I don't know, because I feel like we don't even really understand what that mark means and why it's spreading around him the way that it is. So I kind of felt like maybe it means that he's just not worthy. But then does that mean that someone else in his kingdom is worthy? Or does that just mean that Eliza is the one who's more worthy? I don't think that really made sense right now. And when Cyrus would talk to Eliza, like he is just so, you know, even though our emo boy Cameron is the emo one, I feel like Cyrus is also very like emotional. Yeah. Like he's gone through so much as well that I agree with you. And I feel like he's going to be like a sacrifice in some way because the way that he speaks about his life, like there's just like no hope for him right now. Like he can't even tell Eliza why he made the deal in the first place. So I feel like I honestly do think that Eliza's going to love him. But I think that when he reveals to her why he did what he did, he's going to end up dying. And it's going to fucking hurt.
Yeah, because I was also thinking about that with the whole, he's not supposed to tell her why she's doing that. I do feel like he cares enough about her. There's going to be a point where it's like, I'm going to have to tell her. And I don't want that to fucking happen to him. But it sucks because he's so in love with her, though. It's so sad. And this, oh, God, he's going to deal with the most L's in the third book. Yeah. Because
I mean, predicting it now.
Yes, Cam got L after L in this book. So
he had like too many L's.
Dude, poor Cam. Like I felt so bad for that bitch. I feel like it's gonna hurt.
Can I just bring up that when we met Tahereh Mafi, I was like, "Hey, Queen, listen, I don't care who she ends up with. I'm gonna be real. because no matter who she ends up with, I'm gonna cry for the other one. And she kind of looked at me like, so true. Like, you know, like she kind of looked at me in a way that was like, yeah, I just know that the road is gonna be really bumpy. So I feel like I can see her going back and forth between both of them, or this could just be a poly relationship.
Dude, a triangle.
I doubt
Fucking
it.
love that shit.
I doubt it, though.
No, I doubt it too. I doubt that would happen.
Only because you already said it. I genuinely don't have a favorite. I love Cameron, and I don't know why you would automatically assume that I would prefer Cyrus over him. Actually, I do know why.
I love both of them a lot.
No, but you have a favorite though. I don't have a favorite. I really feel like right now, and also keep in mind, again, like we said, this book was just one fucking day. So I feel like nothing really was developed in their relationships yet. So it's kind of hard to already pick a side. I am excited to see more of her and Cyrus, but honestly, if she ends up with Cameron or Cyrus, I'm going to cry for the other one. It doesn't really matter to me.
I
feel like she does a really good, she's doing a really good job in developing these characters.
Yes, I agree. I'm very excited for fucking that wild team that Cam's bringing to Toulon. I'm so excited because they're all so fucking different. So I'm excited to see how that's going to play out.
Yeah. And that's also why I kind of think she might end up with Cameron, just because she has that family formed that is connected to Cameron. But I mean, so much can happen, so I'm not really sure.
I know. Oh my gosh. Let's get to overall thoughts before I cry.
Why would you cry?
Oh, I guess I could start. I really, really like this book a lot. When I finished reading it, I was very like, it ended really quickly. And I don't know if you noticed inscribed, it said it was 33 chapters, but it ended on chapter 32 because the last one's just like oh, thank you for listening, you know?
Yeah.
So when it ended, I was just like, it fucking ended? Like I had to go back and I was like, really? That's how it ends? Because even though this book is fucking long, it's also so insufferably short because like you said, nothing really happens. And as much as I did like it, because we do get to see the characters interact with each other more, and I think that Tahereh Mafi does a really good job at writing dialogue and interactions between people, I still prefer the first book over this book only because a lot more happened. Like I at least wish that Cameron would have gotten there. You know what I mean?
Or like seen her.
Yeah. Or just like to get there and be like, I'm here for my queen. You know, like I wanted to see something like that. But we didn't even fucking get to that point. The only person that he admitted to openly that he wants to marry her was to fucking Hazan and the Firefly too. Don't forget Beyonce. Like that's the only two. So I really wanted there to be more. But I mean, fuck. There wasn't really much. I loved Cyrus. I loved reading about his character. I thought he was so well written. And as much as he's like feared by others outside of Toulon, he's actually he's very methodical in the way that he acts and presents himself. And I thought that was interesting, like an interesting point of the character. Like he didn't hide his emotions on his face. Like he would show concern. He would show when things were funny. He would show his anger. And when he didn't want to, he would look away because he can't control the way his emotions show. And I fucking love that about him. Like, I'm kind of in the same boat. I'm gonna cry for the other bitch. At this point, no one get married. Like, let's all just three be friends and meet up for like bingo every like week or something.
Let's just stay friends, guys.
But I did like this book overall. I think I like this book a lot. I don't know if you feel the same way. After meeting her, it kind of made me a lot more excited for this book.
Oh,
so
dude,
even though it is not a 5 out of 5 for me, I am still so in love with this Woven Kingdom, like the whole series in general. I'm in love with all the characters. And the fact that she revealed that it's more than a trilogy got me so fucking
Dude.
excited.
I could cry. I could fucking cry.
She did, by the way, say that she's working on the third book. She's not done with it yet, but her goal is to release the third book by next year. So I know.
Dude, let me just say that I also asked her how she pronounces it. Like, is it Cyrus or Cyrus? Because if you guys listen to the audiobook, in the first book, they kind of interchanged both pronunciations. So they would say Cyrus and Cyrus. Yeah. And in the second book, in these Infinite Threads, they just only said Cyrus. That's it. And so I asked her, I was like, so is it Cyrus or Cyrus? And she said that when she wrote This Woven Kingdom, she did have the intention of it being pronounced as Cyrus. But when she would like write his name or say his name, she would just say it as Cyrus. And so now it's just Cyrus. It's not Cyrus.
I'm glad you asked her that. I forgot, and I was as soon as you brought it up, I was like, "Oh my god!" But you're like,
"Yeah," because I asked Cheli to ask her just in case I would forget. But you went.
I'm glad
first.
you remembered.
Thank you. Me too. I'm asking the hard hitting questions. I also told her, blink twice if she ends up with Cameron. Blink 3 times. I'm just kidding. I was gonna, but then I was like, just kidding. And you know what? I'm stupid. Don't look at me.
Okay, I do want to get to the question that we asked her, but before that. Overall, I loved it. I would, you know what? You got me. I would give it a 4.25. Like, that's where I'm at
God.
with this book. I fucking loved it.
Is that what I guessed?
Yeah, that's what you guessed.
Fuck
because
yeah,
you could
bro.
give a 4.25 on Storygraph.
Exactly. So, my overall thoughts of this book is I was so excited to devour this story. And I feel like it's a little... I'm not disappointed at all, but I am a little like sad that this book was only one day. I kind of wish it would have at least been like a week of, you know, everything that had happened, but so much was happening. So much was happening with Cameron that I kind of understand. And like I've said a million times, I feel like Tahereh Mafi's writing is so beautiful. I'm so obsessed with it. I really wish that I could write as poetic as her. And I really cared for all of the characters. At the moment, I'm not anyone's team, although I will say that I fucking love that Cameron is the melancholic king. Like, I live for that shit. I'm just picturing him. Like, just fucking black eyeliner running down his, like, fucking ojos. I love that. Oh, my God. But I also do really love Cyrus as well. Like, I love how mysterious he still is to us. And I feel like there's just so much that we need to uncover for him. And no matter who she picks, I'm going to be happy, but I'm also going to cry. So I wouldn't say that I loved the first one more. I don't know. It's kind of weird because this kind of just felt like I don't know, like an epilogue of the first
book.
Like
a 1.5?
Yeah, exactly. Like here's what happened right after that moment, you know?
Yeah.
So I'm a little conflicted because I still need to, you know, think about it, let it sit with me. But for right now, I would give it a 4.75 because you can do that on Storygraph. Because I want to give it a 5 based solely on the writing alone, and because I also really care about all of the characters, especially the Firefly, Beyonce. Just kidding. JK, that's
no, that's the best character. I don't know why you said just kidding. You mean it.
No, I really do. I love all of the characters, and I'm so excited to see like what happens in the next book. Dude. But even if I did give it a 5, it would. I know for a fact this would not be my favorite read of the year. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you know how you said that 5 sometimes have different like ranges, like a lower 5,
like a 5 or a 5.
Yeah, exactly. So I kind of feel like it's between like a 4.75 or a 5. I'm not entirely sure yet. But
I do want to say though, it kind of feels, I feel like a weight's been lifted. I can like finally talk about this book with you.
I know. Dude, you know when I told you that I sent that message to Melissa, I kind of wish that I could have sent it to you, but I was like, I can't reveal anything right now. But yeah, dude, like I was screaming in my room like, oh my God, the Nosta went cold.
Dude. Oh my God. I'm gonna say our goodbyes because I feel like after we finish reading the review of this book, we can talk about the stupid question I asked Tahereh Mafi and Adam Silvera.
Beautiful, just so iconic question that you asked.
Okay, so thank you so much for everyone who is listening. You really went through it with us. It's like almost 2.5 hours. If you are listening to us on audio form, whether that be on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, or anywhere you get your podcasts on, thank you so much. If you can leave a review and a rating of 5 stars, it makes a huge difference. And honestly, you all have been wonderful with that. So if you haven't yet, please do it right now because it does make a big difference. Also, if you want to tell your friends, family, loved ones about us, the best type of exposure is through word of mouth. If you are watching us on YouTube, thank you. Yajaira and I are still separated. It's funny because we're like, 5 minutes away from each other right now? But
shut up. Don't tell them that. They're going to be like, what the fuck?
5 minutes. Okay, no, but we are so grateful if you are watching us on YouTube. If you can like, comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. We had a crazy technical difficulties week last week, but we usually post on Tuesdays and on Thursdays. Mm-hmm. So I also want to say that we did start a Patreon, and it would be super cool if you guys joined, because we do really want to start a book community, hopefully a book club soon, and just have a way where we can talk to you guys in a more intimate way and kind of be like no filter. And I don't know if you looked into it, Yajaira, but I think we can sing on there.
I didn't look into it, but if we can, oh my God. Not saying that we're good singers, but you know.
But that's all we're going to be doing. No, but it would be very nice if you can join us on Patreon.
Also, we're trying to get our listeners to be more involved in the episodes that we do make. So if you did join our Patreon, then you would also have a say in what books we talk about.
Yes.
And you can find us on patreon.com/bookfix.
If you want to follow us on social media, we do have an Instagram at The Book Fix Pod, THEBOOKFIXPOD. And we also have a TikTok at The Book Fix, THEBOOKFIX. Thank you. At the end of the episodes, Yajaira usually rolls a dice on an app, and if she gets an even number, we read a positive review of the book. If she gets an odd number, we read a negative review of the book. We kind of just read it and let it go. We don't connect to it at all. We don't agree or disagree with it. We don't even talk about it. Mm-hmm. So,
but we will on our Patreon.
If you wanted to join us, maybe. But thank you so much, Yajaira. If you can give us our number so that I can look up a review.
All right. Our number is 6.
That is an even number, so I'm going to read a positive review off of Storygraph. It was 416 pages. It did not feel like it.
It really didn't, huh? It kind of felt like 210.
I don't know. It kind of felt like maybe like 197. I don't know, though.
I don't know why, but it just felt like I fucking flew right through that book.
In general, it got a 4.23, by the way.
Oh, wow, really? Queen.
I kind of like how it asks questions on Storygraph, by the way. Like, it'll ask plot or character driven, strong character development, lovable characters, and it's just yes or no questions that you can answer.
I know. I feel like it definitely helps us navigate more about, like, what is this book offering me?
KCL Evidence on Storygraph, who gave it a 4.5 out of 5, and wrote, "Nothing happened in this entire book. All they did was talk, but it was really good talking, so I really loved it. No one does enemies to lovers like Tahereh Mafi."
Wait. Can I interject, please? I know I'm not going to comment on that at all. I would never do that. That's weird.
Okay. It's weird.
But let me just read this to you, okay? Hold on. So, the review that you just read reminded me of a review that I read that was written by Amelia on Goodreads, and they wrote, "Absolutely nothing happened in this book, and it was glorious. 5 out of 5.
Thank you so much for listening, and we will talk to you next time.
Bye.
That's so fucking funny, dude. Screenshot that and send it to me.
Okay, I will.
Yes, queen, give us nothing.
But 5 out of 5, though.
So when we were at the book event, I told Yajaira a joke. It was a joke. in the car and I told you that I was gonna ask Tahereh Mafi and Adam Silvera if any of their characters were in the WWE, they were wrestlers, what would their walkout song be? Or like their walk-in song? Because you know how in wrestling, to hype them up, they walk out to a certain song.
Yeah.
And that was my question. Dude, can I say, as soon as I started saying it, one of the girls in front of us reacted and she was kind of like,
No.
Okay, bitch.
No.
The
girls in front of us were being so nice. Like, they were like, that's a good question.
The girls directly in front of us? Yes. I agree.
I don't know who you're talking about.
I do want to say it was way in the front. I couldn't even hear it. Or I couldn't even see her. But everyone around us, the circle of girls around us, best people. They're really sweet. They were really like into it.
Yeah, they were. And I loved the vibes and everything. So after you asked that question, I feel like you kind of sparked something in the crowd because to me, it felt like a lot of the people were really like, damn, her mind, another planet.
I heard the one girl in the front who was just kind of like,
I don't know who it was. I'll fight her.
Dude, I don't know either. But what I was like, kind of like demotivated me because I wasn't even done asking the question. Because if you remember, I started by saying, hey,
love the questions. All of the questions have been so great.
But
you guys all have
yeah, you guys all have amazing responses, amazing questions. But me and my best friend have been driving for so long, and this is all I could come up with. You know wrestling. Like, that's how I said it.
And he was like WWE wrestling? And you were like, yeah.
And it was funny because while I was like trying to explain it, Adam Silvera was telling Tahereh Mafi, okay, so there's wrestling. When people come out, they have like hype music.
Yeah.
And I love Adam Silvera, but I didn't know what character he was talking about. It's from his fantasy book, but it was so funny because he was like, let the bodies hit the floor. Like, are you kidding me? By this band? Oh my God, I'm revealing so much about myself
He's
right
like, what, drowning pool, I think? I'm not sure.
Dude, it was so funny. But you know what? Because you're such a Shatter Me fan, I want you to tell me Tahereh Mafi's response.
So it was so cute because Tahereh Mafi, she's literally gives me Disney princess vibes. Like, she's just like so like meek and cute and whatever. And so she was like, I'm not sure how to answer this. So she was, it looked to me like she was actually flustered because she was like, I'm not sure. Yeah. But she couldn't come up with anything. But then after a while, she was like, okay, Kenji. She picked Kenji from Shatter Me. If you haven't read it, go read it right now. And she was like, I would think I would pick that one song that goes to the window, to the wall.
Dude, everyone fucking lost it.
I know. That was the perfect response, honestly.
If you still have the audio, Yajaira, we can put it at the end.
Yeah, I think I do have it.
Okay, but thank you.
Dude, no.
I'm gonna go
literally, thank you for asking that question.
You because, and dude, we kept looking at each other because literally people would raise their hand and be like, you know, I just want to understand, like, how do you get your structures in literary something? You know, I'm a therapist and I really want to know the psychology behind this. And I'm like, wrestling.
People fighting each other. Your question was valid and beautiful, okay?
Thank you. I felt dumb, but thank you.
No, you're so smart. Brilliant.
In the back and then boom and then that's okay.
First of all the questions have been so great and so beautiful, and the way you guys have been answering is great. But I've had like a long drive and a long work week, and the only question I can come up with is, I'm a fan of wrestling. And if you know about wrestling,
like WWE.
Yes.
Okay, yes.
If you know about wrestling, when the wrestlers walk out, they have a walkout song. So if you had to pick one of your characters and any of them, what would their walkout song be?
You don't care. I don't know where you're at on your WWE. But yeah. So like when they're like coming down to the ring, they're about to go kick some ass or like like what's like their hype song if they're like walking down that like metal ramp with? Which character? What song? You asked a hell of a question. Okay. Okay. In my very popular fantasy series, Infinity Son, he's a character. He's like the kind of like the dickheaded brother, right? And he's very much like he believes in like being like judge, jury, executioner, and which is not any power that like one person should wield. There's this song like "Let the Bodies Hit the Floor." And I just feel like that'd be a great song to write. So he's like the Infinity Reaper of the sequel, and that just feels. And that was like a big song like during the movie like era too. Let the Bodies Hit the Floor. I don't remember what it was like Drowning Pool or something. Yeah. Cool. Wow. That all just came back to me.
That's really good.
Yeah, that is really good. Well done, Adam.
You won't hold me to this. Like, okay, it might change. I don't know. I've had 2 seconds to think about it. The only thing I could come up with was like, I think maybe Kenji would be like, would walk out to the window